conference, and they were looking to add to it.
Glides, passes, near corner three. Joe Ingles, you betcha. That's finishing a quarter. Milwaukee, a 15-2 run to close it out. They've got the 66-51 lead going into the break.
Dave Kane on the call there on WTMJ as the Bucks would use that 15-2 run heading into half, and they would never look back, easily taking care of the Spurs by a final score of 130-94. Giannis led the charge for the Bucks with 31 points and 14 rebounds in only 23 minutes of work, despite what some say that sounds like an MVP quality performance, but I'll digress on that. And Cash Money Middleton also added 19. After the game, Giannis was asked about health versus seeding with only 10 games remaining on their schedule.
If you had to choose between number one seed or health, I'll take health any day. If I think guys are healthy and we finish third or fourth or whatever, fifth, we have a chance. I think our team is really good. I think guys playing high level. I think we've built good habits and we still have 10 more games to build even better habits. But at the end of the day, number one priority, this guy is being healthy. Hopefully we can finish with the best record in the league.
The Bucks now get set for a 4-game road trip beginning in Utah Friday night.
Coming up, the battle to recognize an American hero from Wisconsin.
Hey, Wisconsin, it might be cold now, but it's going to warm up before you know it. This is WTMJ's Jeff Wagner for the spring edition of Wagner's Home Improvement Showcase presented by Great Midwest Bank. This time we're brought to you by Wisconsin Home Guys, Outdoor Living Unlimited, Miller Mobility, the Home Market, and more. Let's all look forward to spring with Wagner's Home Improvement Showcase on 620 WTMJ.
Find out more about the Wagner Home Improvement Showcase at WTMJ.com.
Hunger Task Force has had copier printers from James Imaging Systems in multiple Wisconsin locations for over 10 years. Associate Director Matt King, why James Imaging Systems?
We trust James Imaging because they're a local business that understands the local community and the needs that we have here.
Has that had a positive impact?
Absolutely. James Imaging staff have made the copying and document imaging within the office really easy and efficient so that we can focus on our mission.
Matt, any advice to other local businesses that would like to make their document imaging processes faster, easier, and more efficient?
Yeah, I would tell them to call James Imaging because they provide great service and they provide customer-oriented solutions.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned company with a 100% commitment to the success of your business. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
You're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Traffic is sponsored by Weniger Compressor, ready to service any facility at pressureisoff.biz.
Weniger Compressor services all makes and models and carries high-performance compressors with a lifetime warranty. Contact Weniger at pressureisoff.biz.
Weniger Compressor.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Sloppy drive north of Milwaukee today. What do you have, Debbie?
Oh, yeah, icky, bad, yuck, blech. There's other things I could say, but yeah. Slippery conditions pretty much everywhere to the north of Milwaukee. So Ozaki, Washington, Dodge, Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, even Jefferson County's getting into the act. Parts of Waukesha County now are showing up with slippery conditions. And we are getting some freezing rain out there, so even in our neck of the woods, so that's going to make things a little bit dangerous. So just be extra careful. We don't have any incidents per se up on the board, but I'm definitely seeing some slower speeds through Washington County on 41 and 45, anywhere between Fond du Lac, the city of Fond du Lac, and basically Highway 60 near Jackson and Slinger. Just be extra careful around those areas. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ's forecast sponsored by Dave Dre Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. This rain and snow that we've got this morning is largely a morning event and otherwise cloudy today with a high of 41 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, low down to 30. Friday is mostly sunny with a high of 43, and we're watching for snow on Saturday. Could be accumulating with a high of 39. Right now at 37 in Milwaukee. March is Women's History Month. There's a special effort underway right now to recognize an American hero from western Wisconsin. WTMJ's John Mercure has the story of Ellen Ainsworth.
Young Ellen Ainsworth didn't have it easy. Born in 1919, she grew up during the Great Depression in small Glenwood City, Wisconsin, in the rolling hills 40 miles east of the Minnesota border. Despite food sometimes being scarce and opportunities even scarcer, one of Ellen's childhood friends says she had a special light. She was quick with a one-liner, the first to lead an impromptu sing-along, and was always fast to flash a smile. David Sandmeyer is a distant cousin of Ellen.
So she was almost like a bigger-than-life figure, living life to its fullest, and never afraid in the darkest of scenarios.
After high school, Ellen graduated nursing school and became a nurse in Minneapolis. On March 2nd, 1942, Ellen's life changed forever when an Army recruiter visited the hospital where she worked. A few days later, on her 23rd birthday, Ellen told her family it was her destiny to help our men and women on the battlefield overseas, and she enlisted. After training in Arkansas, Texas, and New York, Ellen shipped out for Italy, where she was assigned to the 56th Evacuation Hospital on the front lines in Anzio.
The entire several months that the U.S. Army was there was basically hell on earth.
Ellen and her fellow nurses arrived in late January 1942. And immediately they faced intense artillery and mortar attacks. February 10th, 1944.
The worst shelling yet occurred. And it mainly hit a field hospital very near to the 56th evac hospital. And it killed a number of people at that field hospital.
The injured were brought to Ellen's field hospital, which was nothing more than a canvas tent with big red crosses painted on the roof and sides. Several large bombs landed nearby, and shrapnel began to rain down on the tent where Ellen was working.
Patients who are there who are well enough to be moved, they're removing those patients from the tent hospital into bunkers. But somebody has to stay behind and take care of the really ill patients who can't be moved.
Under heavy bombing, as others fled, Ellen stayed.
She calmly helped move those patients at least to the ground, because shrapnel was coming almost at ground level, horizontally. You know, these bombs would explode and they'd send metallic shrapnel sideways, like a few feet above the ground. So Ellen is in there on her shift, moving patients to the ground.
In the chaos, Ellen stayed calm.
42 patients were moved calmly and collectively under her guidance, which prevented panic.
A bomb shelter had been built for the nurses, but Ellen decided to stay in her tent because she wanted to be closer to the men she cared for. February 12th, 1944. After another long shift under constant bombardment, Ellen collapsed from exhaustion in her tent.
Within minutes, a bomb hit, sent shrapnel sideways, and it struck her in her tent. She took about a quarter diameter piece of shrapnel into her chest that apparently went down into her abdomen and caused pretty severe organ damage.
She was rushed to the medical tent where she fought and struggled and eventually faded.
Ellen gets worse and worse. Eventually she died 4 days later on February 16th.
Her death left that community grief-stricken for years.
Sally Burkholder's father went to high school with Ellen in Glenwood City.
Her death left such an impression on that community that even now today, you could go to Glenwood City, a population of about 1,200 people, and died, 80-some years ago, and just say Ellen, and they would know who you were talking about.
Now the people of western Wisconsin are talking about how Ellen should receive the nation's highest military award for valor in action, the Medal of Honor.
Was Ellen Ainsworth a hero? Absolutely. In the case of Ellen, she had to die to prove herself. But, it opened up generations of opportunities for women to serve in the military, for women to go on and pursue advanced degrees.
And it's not just in Glenwood City that they're pushing for Ellen to receive the Medal of Honor.
I would argue this is long overdue.
Dan Buttry is the president and CEO of the War Memorial in Milwaukee.
The key is to protect and save and do something way above and beyond your requirement to save your fellow soldier. And there's no question what Ellen did at that time was to protect and save and stand there and go way beyond what was required of her.
No woman has the Medal of Honor. Not one. Ellen would be the first.
The Medal of Honor requires you to have gone beyond the call of duty in a position of extreme danger to aid others. And it's basically what she did. You know, had she decided to use that air raid shelter when she got off her shift, she'd gone to that shelter, she probably would have survived.
World War II veteran Senator Daniel Inouye once said, "The nurses in World War II gave us hope. It's time for Ellen's country to give her the recognition she bravely and selflessly earned."
The girl next door who left home for war and never came back.
John Mercier, WTMJ News.
Both of Wisconsin's U.S. Senators and U.S. Representative Tom Tiffany of Wisconsin working to get Ellen Ainsworth awarded that Medal of Honor. That process could take years. If approved by Congress, the medal would be presented to the Ainsworth family by the President of the United States. Business headlines are up next. Here's the Milwaukee Business Journal's Teddy Nyko.
The city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County could face budget deficits without more funding support from the state. A new report finds that it could lead to hundreds of city layoffs, including in the police and fire departments. Milwaukee is among the hardest places in the country for renters to find an apartment. A new study finds that the city ranked as the 7th most in-demand rental market in the U.S. among large cities. A new outpatient VA clinic planned for Oconomowoc represents the first of multiple healthcare and medical projects planned for the city's Olympia Fields development as Oconomowoc becomes a healthcare hub halfway between Milwaukee and Madison. I'm Teddy Nykel with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Help us make a difference by supporting local veterans and others in your community during Fleet Farm's Make a Difference event. Stop by your local store and donate non-perishable foods, personal care items, or household goods, and you'll get $15 off your purchase of $75 or more. Now is your chance to help make a difference in your community during Fleet Farm's Make a Difference event.
With all the positive Google reviews continuing to pour in for Rich Lawn's Tire and Service Centers, we want you to know we appreciate you.
You were due for service, we delivered, and then you went the extra mile and wrote a few kind words about the service you experienced.
Yeah, thank you so much. Michael, Glenn, Jeff, Lisa, Carol, Jason, John,
Wait,
Michelle,
hang on a
Ryan.
second, Dad. As fun as it may be to name every single person who's ever left us a Google review, there just isn't enough time. We get 60 seconds, and I'd say we've got about 28 left.
Ah, good point, Courtney.
Listen, we appreciate every last one of you for helping us maintain a nearly 5-star Google rating. And we're going to keep on shooting for the stars, especially when it comes to providing top-notch auto repair service.
Yep, and remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. Peter, Bruce, Samantha, Kimberly, Nick, Heather,
Oh,
Marissa,
Dad.
George, Jeremy, Diane, Brad.
Rich Lawns.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
6:01, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News for Thursday, March 23rd. Our top story, a hit-and-run arrest in Racine County.
I'm Eric Bilstead. TikTok on the hot seat.
I'm Brandon Snide. Giannis and the Bucks look to keep pace in the East.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and ooh, what a mess out there. We got to be extra careful. Got slippery conditions pretty much all over the place. Western Waukesha, most of Jefferson County, Dodge, Washington, Ozaki, and Sheboygan and Fond du Lac. All these areas have slippery stretches, and we're getting word of some freezing rain in our neck of the woods. Bridges and overpasses are going to be extra slick, so you want to take it easy this morning. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
Storm team forecast from meteorologist Marissa Wallison today. The rain and snow and freezing rain that we're seeing should move out later today. Then cloudy skies and a high of 41. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low down to 30. Temperature right now in Milwaukee at 36 degrees. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a hit-and-run suspect accused of injuring a We Energies flagger in Racine County. That person in custody this morning. The incident happened Tuesday on Honey Lake Road near Spring Prairie Road, town of Burlington. The sheriff's office said multiple tips led them to Bob Slamonski's home on Wednesday. His Chevy Silverado was found covered by a tarp in the backyard. Investigators say Slamonski confessed to hitting the We Energies worker, Carly Rybarczyk, and he claimed that he was on his way to an AA meeting at the time of the accident and panicked.
2 reckless driving bills are making strides in the legislature.
Representative Bob Donovan is the driving force behind the bills, which he says are a long time coming.
The last time reckless driving legislation was enhanced, 1953.
The bills would increase fines and jail time for reckless driving, as well as allowing police to tow cars of repeat offenders. Governor Tony Evers says he'll sign them, telling TMJ4 News change is needed.
There's lots of freedoms, but one of the things that there's not a freedom to be a reckless driver and hurting people.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
As former President Donald Trump awaits a possible indictment in the Stormy Daniels hush money case out of New York, he faces a setback in a separate investigation. ABC's Jacqueline Lee reports from Washington.
A lawyer representing former President Trump in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case is preparing to appear before a grand jury. A panel of judges yesterday rejected Trump's effort to block his lawyer, Evan Corcoran, from testifying. It comes after a judge determined there's compelling preliminary evidence that Trump knowingly misled his attorneys so they would file a sworn statement, even though he knew it was false. Sources say Corcoran is expected to turn over documents as soon as today.
TikTok CEO is set to defend his company in front of Congress as the app faces a potential ban in the U.S. ABC's Justin Finch.
Lawmakers and TikTok users speaking out ahead of today's testimony.
We can solve the issues without taking away something so precious to us all.
Some argue their small businesses would close without the exposure the app has given them. But one Republican lawmaker fired back with this response.
Those influencers, Congressman, who it's their livelihood, what's your message to them?
Find another job.
Opponents of the app say TikTok poses a serious threat to national security. The Chinese-owned company collects users' data, including biometric information. Critics worry that data could be handed over to China's government.
Coming up, the Big Gig unveils a big list of headliners. More than 100 acts just dropped. We'll give a few of those highlights coming up next on Wisconsin's Morning News. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:05.
This report sponsored by Evans Transportation Services, one company for accounting, shipping, and tracking.
At Evans Transportation, they love this time of year. The snowy days of winter are on their way out, and Milwaukee basketball is heating up. They're big fans of the alley-oop, both on the court and in supply chain management. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, Evans Transportation is there to throw down some monster jams. Good luck to Milwaukee on the court for the rest of this season from Evans Transportation in Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com.
The best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Hi, this is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Integrity, excellence, quality, and community are what we value here at Ridgetop because we want to do a great job to help our friends and neighbors. We always want to exceed expectations because customer service is our #1 goal. We're trusted local experts you can count on for your home exterior projects. Thanks for choosing Ridgetop Exteriors for your home's next project. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
Wasn't doing anything different. Wasn't trying to train for a marathon or compete in American Ninja Warrior. Was just playing racquetball with my buddies, and that's how the injury happened.
That led to Achilles surgery and years of chronic pain for Will Burt, a patient at QC Kinetics.
There's always been tenderness and inflammation, and I had the surgery to repair the tendon, but it didn't repair my quality of life.
Desperate for relief, Will tried the natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics, and finally, the pain was gone.
The good news is it's a solution without having to go under the knife. A solution that my body can kind of regenerate and take care of itself versus surgery, pain pills, rehab, and all that goes along with that.
Patients like Will are raving over the results. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Should I sell my home for cash? Should I list with a real estate agent? Who's going to help me with all these decisions and all this work? At Wisconsin Home Guys, our priority is our home sellers. We can buy it, list it, or fix it. Wisconsin Home Guys, your real estate solutions company.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:07.
Brewers opening day is just a week away. The skipper, Craig Counsell, on how the pitching staff is shaping up. Brandon Snide with sports at 6:15.
All right, we told you this was going to happen. It's out now. We now have the full list of Summerfest headliners 2023.
I'm just trying to sift through because what Summerfest does is they drop a graphic. Okay, so it gives you the weekends and then they just... like they're all there. More than 100 acts that we didn't necessarily know were coming, and basically they give you who's going to be here on the weekend on all of the various other stages.
So I'm looking through some of these I recognize as repeat artists, but that's okay. Cheap Trick, Buddy Guy, Lyle Lovett, Tegan and Sarah.
Weekend 2, you got Earth, Wind, and Fire, 38 Special, Night Ranger for, if you want to say, repeat
Debbie
customers.
Gibson.
Right. Oh, did you see? I didn't see that.
Yeah, she's in there.
Okay.
Right by Flock of Seagulls. Oh, my gosh.
Weekend 3,
I wonder if they still have the hair.
Soul Asylum. A couple other names you might recognize.
I've seen Soul Asylum. That's a good show.
Yeah?
That's a good show.
Is it still a good show?
The Guffs are a good show, too.
Saw that for weekend 3. Yep. A couple of holes still, though. We still have 2 TBAs for American Family Insurance Amphitheater. They don't have July 1st or July 6th announced yet for those acts.
Thanks, Justin Bieber.
Right. Oh, yeah, Biebs was supposed to be one of those. But that's not a slight on Milwaukee. He's not doing his tour.
No, that's true.
I'll just throw Styx in there.
Yeah.
Come on.
On the
They're
big
always
stage?
good for...
Really? Who's left in Styx even?
Well, they still play
take
the
up the
music.
same amount of space.
This is for Summerfest, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been to Summerfest.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
Impossible.
It's not.
Did you just like accidentally go once?
No, I don't know why either. I left for the Army at 18, so like after high school I was gone, and I just returned, and then I returned, and there was the pandemic. So I haven't.
All right, we're gonna.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
do it.
to have to go this year.
Sounds like a plan.
Home. We're going to Summerfest, and we've got much more on the lineup. Scott Zeal is the new Summerfest Director of Entertainment. He takes over for Bob Babish, who was in that role since forever. So we'll talk with Scott live coming up at 6:20 this morning. The bands you haven't heard of that he thinks you ought to go see. That's coming up at 6:20. Brandon Snide has sports coming up next.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Whether you're out in the yard, the workshop, or the driveway, it's time to save big on supplies for outdoor DIY projects. Right now, Rewards members get a free $10 gift card with an $80 estate fertilizer purchase. Save $3 on all Trico wiper blades. Plus, all tires are on sale, with $50 instant savings on select name brands and additional consumer rebates when you buy 4. Visit our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later, because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Arlington Park Cemetery. Find us at DignityMemorial.com.
4141 South 27th Street, Greenfield, Wisconsin, 53221.
Do you want the absolute largest avocados in the market? Then shop Sendix this week, where super jumbo avocados are sale priced at 4 for $5. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Super Jumbo Avocados. Traffic sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. It's a big avocado, Deb.
Yes, great big avocado. I love avocado. All right, we got some slick conditions out there. Freezing rain, lots of rain, rain-snow mix. Oh, the whole thing. And that's making for a nasty ride, especially in the northern counties. So we're looking at Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, Dodge, Washington, Ozaukee, and parts of Jefferson County as well, most of Jefferson. We've got a little bit of Waukesha County also showing up with some slick conditions. But even in our neck of the woods, bridges and overpasses are going to be slick because of this wetness coming down and the temps being where they are. Icky bad. And luckily, we don't have any incidents up on the board just yet. Knock on wood. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Rain and snow showers this morning, becoming mostly cloudy this afternoon with a high of 41. Tonight, mostly cloudy, down to 30. Tomorrow, more sunshine, up to 43. But tomorrow night into Saturday, we're looking at widespread at least 2 to 4 inches of snow, with many places picking up closer to 6 inches of snow with a storm. Now, we could see some of the snow impacted by the warmer ground this time of year, but definitely looking at some impacts for travel if you're leaving early Saturday. We'll see a high of 39 in the afternoon. Sunday, partly sunny, 44, and on Monday, mostly cloudy, 42. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Temperature's been dropping in Milwaukee. We're down to 36 degrees right now.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Vitrano.
And just a little bit more on the current weather situation. So now northern Milwaukee County is getting in on some of the snow, maybe a rain-snow mix. And then south of that, if you're seeing something that looks like rain, maybe some freezing rain mixed in there based on the reports I'm seeing here on the Old National Bank talk and text line, which is 855-616-1620. If you can safely text us travel conditions after you've pulled over or have a moment to do that.
This seems like just an entree, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of
the
everything
main
out
course
there.
is coming up in a couple of days, it sounds like.
Oh, you mean you're talking the Saturday snow that
Yeah.
could accumulate 4 to 6 inches possible for some spots in
6
southeast
inches.
Wisconsin? Not interested. No, thank you.
Of slush.
Yeah.
It's going to be that wet, heavy
Ugh.
stuff.
Not going to stick around for very long, but it's going to be enough to prevent you from getting out there enjoying spring. A couple of folks asking about the Summerfest acts, and again, we're going to have Scott Zeal, Director of Entertainment for Summerfest, joining us live at 6:20 this morning to help us sort through the 100-plus acts that were just dropped for the upcoming festival in late June and into July. But you can text the word, what did we decide on? Fest?
Fest.
Text the word FEST, F-E-S-T, to the Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Old National Bank, get old. Text the word FEST, and we will blast out to you the graphic that Summerfest produced that has all of those acts on there. They don't have the stages assigned yet, and they don't have the specific dates, although they do break the acts all into which weekend of Summerfest they're going to be on. Remember, again, Summerfest sticking with the Thursday, Friday, Saturday configuration, 3 consecutive weekends for that. So it'll be a 9-day festival, and they do break the acts out in that way. So you know who's coming which weekend, but we still don't know stages or show dates for all of them. Text the word FEST to us, and we'll blast that out to you. And Scott Zeal, Director of Summerfest, joining us live in just about 5 minutes. Brandon's got sports next.
Carjackings, theft, shootings. Crime in Milwaukee is soaring. Criminals are being put back on the streets by liberal judges like Janet Protasewicz, who care more about woke politics than law and order. Too often, liberal judge Janet Protasewicz has refused to put convicted felons behind bars, only for them to re-offend. And Judge Janet says she has no regrets, while our communities suffer consequences. There's only one candidate in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race that puts the law before politics and victims over criminals. That's constitutional conservative Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly is endorsed by law enforcement and can be trusted to restore law and order. We can't afford to let woke liberal judge Janet Protasewicz on our highest court. It's time to take back our streets, restore law and order, and vote conservative Dan Kelly for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Fair Courts America paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee. faircourtsamerica.org.
double pane prices for triple pane protection. Right now, installed only by craftsmen that meet the Semper Fi standard from your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
With only 11 games remaining for Milwaukee and a 4-game road trip looming, the Bucks were looking for some home cooking Wednesday night against the visiting Spurs.
Sends a pass to the corner. Middleton works it to Ingles. They work at touch passes back and forth. Now out top it comes to Portis, and Portis drills the three. Man, that ball was like a ping pong ball. It was just one spot to the next.
Dave Kane on the call right here on WTMJ. BP would sink that and finish the game with 19, and Giannis would lead the game, though, with 31 points and 14 boards in just 23 minutes as the Bucks take care of business, defeating the Spurs by a final score of 130-94. After the game, head coach Mike Budenholzer on his team finding their stride and sharing the ball.
When we're playing unselfish and sharing it and making good decisions and good reads and making threes, then that's when we're at our best.
With the win, the Bucks remain 2.5 games in front of the Boston Celtics for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, there's a little bit of a debate and some dilemma for the Bucks and maybe even some of their fans. Do they rest their guys heading into the postseason, or do they go for that number 1 seed?
I mean, I think we won it. I think we want the 1 seed. Even like after All-Star break, right? It's been super close between really the top 3 teams in the East. It's not something we obsess about. We're not like checking it every day, every game. Like I think we're definitely aware of it, and I know as a group, I know we want the 1 seed.
Bucks guard Grayson Allen addressing the media on Wednesday as the Bucks now get set for a 4-game road trip beginning Friday in Utah. Over to the Diamond, where the regular season is just 1 week away for the Brewers, and manager Craig Counsell, well, he's feeling pretty good about where the Brew Crew's starting rotation currently sits at this moment.
I couldn't be happier with the physical status of our starters. I think we're in a good spot. Like we've got them like prep wise, health related. Like they've done everything we're supposed to do, so we're in a good spot.
The Brewers are back in action today, taking on the San Diego Padres. First pitch is set for 3:10.
Text the word FEST to 855-616-1620. We'll blast you to the link of the 100-plus acts just announced this morning. We have the Director of Entertainment for Summerfest, Scott Zeal, joining us live next.
This week on WTMJ.
He is Major Garrett.
Is this really the kind of person, the former President of the United States, who should be hauled before the bar, handcuffed, fingerprinted, mugshotted, bail hearing over this?
The big name.
2-time Sports Writer of the Year, Lori Nickel.
Both of them have had problems, and neither one of them existed last year. Because this is the first one the Milwaukee Marathon is making the comeback.
The stories you're talking about.
It's just been one of those years with like you said, with this team. They just, I think I nicknamed them early in the year Team Drama.
News Radio WTMJ.
It's WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Can't stay warm when you got drafty old windows and doors. Make sure this last winter is the last time you give your windows the old saran wrap insulation treatment. Call Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin today. They've got an amazing deal going right now I want to tell you about. You pay 0% financing for up to 48 months. That's right. You schedule today, make no interest payments for up to 4 years. And the beauty of getting new windows and doors from Pella is they can customize to match your unique home decor. They'll paint it, they'll stain it, or they'll leave the wood bare. Whatever you decide looks best in your home. It's that kind of detail that made Wisconsin homeowners choose Pella as the window brand that pays the closest attention to detail. Their experts install year-round. They're oftentimes finished in as little as a day, so take advantage before it's gone. 0% financing for up to 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Certain restrictions do apply, and this offer ends at the end of the month, 3/31/2023. Visit PellaWI.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed. Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hasselus Mattress.
Why?
Because I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hazelist Mattress.
Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselist.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
Let's get a look at the roads, which are going to be troublesome in spots today, Deb.
Yeah, we definitely see slick conditions now in Milwaukee County along Highway 145. We've also got it basically along 181 or 76th, where Tosa Road through Ozaki County. Slippery conditions pretty much everywhere to the north and west as well, so be extra careful. At the moment, travel times are pretty quiet because the volume's relatively light, and we don't have any incidents per se, but you're going to go slow this morning, and that's a good idea. And don't forget, while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
Storm team forecast from meteorologist Marissa Wallace in today. This rain and snow will move out this morning. Cloudy then for the rest of the day, high of 41. Mostly cloudy tonight, low temp down to 30. Mostly sunny on Friday, high of 43, and then snow on Saturday. Some spots could see 4 to 6 inches and a high of 39. Right now in Milwaukee, 36 degrees. Coming in with Earth, Wind, and Fire this morning, one of the 100-plus acts just announced for Summerfest 2023. That breaking news this morning, you heard it earlier in the hour, the big gig dropping its entire lineup, basically, of more than 100 artists just minutes ago. Actually, we're still sifting through all the bands and performers that will occupy the 9-day festival that is now just 3 months away. Scott Zeal is the Director of Entertainment for Summerfest, and he is on Wisconsin's radio station live this morning with the big news. Morning, Scott.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, I hope you're fired up. We are. We're just trying to, like I said, just trying to sift through this huge information dump. So, but let me start with this. You book all these acts, Scott. How do you judge who is a Summerfest-worthy band, and then where you put these shows, which stage they go on?
Sure. Well, first of all, we start by listening to all of our customers, everybody in Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin or around the Midwest about their favorite bands and who they'd like to see.
See, no, I think that's, let me just interrupt you. I think that's the wrong answer. Don't you start with like the 10 bands you want to see?
That you're
just
most
book whoever
interested
you
in.
want. Like it's your own private playlist?
My wife told me I only get to pick one
Okay.
guilty pleasure band.
Perfect.
And all the other ones have to be the biggest names in music that we can attract to the festival. But yeah, we're out working hard, even a year. We're working on 2024's festival even before presenting 2023. So our team, we have a lot of diversity in terms of music, rock and hip hop and country and EDM. We want to present something for every possible customer who comes to Summerfest.
We're talking with Scott Zeal. He's the Director of Entertainment for Summerfest. If you text the word FEST to 855-616-1620, we'll blast you the list of all the artists just dropped today. And also, you can see which stage they're performing on and the show times as well. That's in greater detail as well.
Hey, Scott, you mentioned guilty pleasure. Now you got to say which one it is.
Oh, my goodness. You're going to put me on the spot, aren't you?
Yes.
There's the ones that are really super exciting for us is when we catch them on the ground floor. So there's a kid by the name of Noah Khan who's a singer-songwriter. He could be like the next John Mayer. I really like him. I mean, we're super excited to have some great women in music. Lauren Daigle, a great pop artist, and Coy Leray. So there's lots to choose from, and please, go to the website, do a dive in, start picking the artists that you want to see at the 55th anniversary of Summerfest.
And you have some familiar artists, too, that come year in, year out and really rock the stage, too. Do you have artists reaching out to you guys ever? Do they ever call you and say, hey, do you got an open spot for us?
Summerfest and Milwaukee has a great reputation around the country and even internationally with such an amazing, park. The 75 acres, beautiful land on the lake. The fact that it's the whole park is all permanent stages and restaurants, and it's so clean and convenient that, yes, we get calls from a lot of artists that want to come and perform every year, and they help us spread the word to new artists that we attract.
Scott Zeal is the Director of Entertainment for Summerfest. Text the word FEST to the Old National Bank Talk and Text line. We'll send you the lineup. That's 855-616-1620. Still a couple of headliners to announce for the American Family Insurance Amphitheater stage, Scott. July 1st, and July 6th. I don't expect you to break the news right here, right now, but can you give us a genre even? Like, is there someone, are there bands in particular you're looking for or a gap you're looking to fill there?
Just think big, 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 right? That's what we do here is we go after the biggest and best names in music. So a lot of times when you see like TBAs on our schedule, it has kind of to do with the an artist who books a whole tour and they want to announce the tour all at the same time. So we have to be patient, but in the next couple of weeks, you'll see 2 great shows headlining the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. We can't wait to present.
So it sounds like we already know who they are. Interesting.
Crossing T's, dotting I's. Scott Zeal, Director of Entertainment for Summerfest. Thanks for the time,
Congratulations.
Scott. Yeah, great lineup.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for the support.
All right, my friend. News about your money this morning in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 32,030. That was down 530 points in trading yesterday. NASDAQ at 11,670, and the S&P 500 dropping back below 4,000. Finished trading Wednesday at 39.37. For a deeper dive on the markets, listen to the Annex Wealth Management SWAT podcast. Listen wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Hey, this is Eric Bilstead with WTMJ's Wisconsin's Morning News. So my house is 20 years old, and my wife and I knew that it was time we wanted to upgrade the curb appeal and get the garage door replaced. So we called J.D. Griffiths. For more than 70 years, J.D. Griffiths, a Milwaukee detached garage builder, also providing premier garage doors. They'll even service doors. They've got their own full-time crews, and they were happy to stop in for free in-home estimates as we considered our options. I even stopped by J.D. Griffiths on 8401 Calumet in Milwaukee to see some of the doors myself. Great people and a great local company, J.D. Griffiths. The time is now. Get a quality, affordable new garage door, and you can do it this spring. Replace a garage door or build and replace a detached garage with J.D. Griffiths, or have your garage door service 414-362-7222. That's 414-362-7222, or online at jdgriffiths.com.
It's sad, isn't it? When a candidate falls behind and starts airing misleading, negative attacks that are completely false. This year, that candidate is Dan Kelly. Dan and his friends are trying to scare you about Janet Protasewicz. They don't want you to know that Janet Protasewicz spent 25 years prosecuting dangerous criminals. Dan just wants to feed you a dirty pack of lies because he can't stand on his own record. Did you know Dan Kelly got rich defending child sex predators? It's true. And Kelly is an extremist who compared Social Security to welfare, saying seniors on Social Security and Medicare have, quote, chosen to retire without sufficient assets. So Dan Kelly, if you're listening, listen closely. We're going to fight your lies with something you might find remarkable. It's called the truth.
Paid for by Janet for Justice.
629 on Wisconsin's Morning News, waking up to a slippery mess.
I'm Eric Bilstead, TikTok on the hot seat.
I'm Brandon Snide, an MVP performance from Giannis as the Bucks look to keep pace in the East.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. It is a slippery ride. You are right, and we want to be extra careful out there. Northern and western counties are showing up with real slick conditions. Travel times right now around our area, not bad, but watch those bridges and overpasses. They are going to be nasty. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, News Radio WTMJ.
This rain and snow will move out later today, then cloudy conditions at a high of 41 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight in your Storm Team forecast from meteorologist Marissa Wallison. Low temperature down to 30, right now at 36 degrees in Milwaukee.
Armed police officers will be back in Denver public schools a day after authorities say a student shot and injured two administrators at Denver East High School, triggering a lockdown.
I rushed over here for the fourth time this year to get my son out of a lockdown. It's got to stop. I can't take it anymore.
Authorities now say the 17-year-old suspect was found dead of an apparently self-inflicted gunshot wound, and he was under an agreement to be patted down each day at school. One administrator was released from the hospital, the others in serious condition. The CEO of TikTok expected to defend his app when he testifies on Capitol Hill amid calls to ban the Chinese-owned app. Grand jury weighing a possible indictment against former President Donald Trump could reconvene today in New York. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will speak today along with the state's education commissioner. This comes amid a proposed expansion of state restrictions on instruction related to sexual orientation and gender identity in K-12 classrooms. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, let's start with the weather here. Portions of southeast Wisconsin getting snow, and in some cases it's pretty heavy. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Marissa Wallison.
A lot of us are seeing mainly rain with some snowflakes mixed in. That is mainly south of a line stretching from, say, Port Washington towards Beaver Dam. Now, north of that, including West Bend, we are getting some snow right now, and this is the area that we could be looking at an inch of snow. So West Bend, Beaver Dam, north up towards Fond du Lac and Sheboygan this morning. Farther to the south, it's going to be more of that mixed bag, though there could be some slick conditions as you head out the door this morning.
The complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up at 20 to 7.
A guilty verdict in a Kenosha County murder trial.
After 10 hours of deliberation, the jury handed down the guilty verdict for Zachariah Anderson, convicted of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, Rosalio Gutierrez. It was a circumstantial case. The body of Gutierrez has never been found since his disappearance in March 2020, but his blood was found in Anderson's car. Prosecutors arguing successfully that there's no other explanation for the evidence there was. He now faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison when he appears in court for sentencing on May 16th. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
Public hearing in New Berlin today. They'll be addressing the oil spill that occurred last week. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo.
On Tuesday, the mayor declared a state of emergency within the city limits due to what they called an environmental hazard. The impacted area near behind the post office on South Moreland Road was also blocked off to allow crews to create a safe passageway for larger cleanup equipment to do its job quickly.
Now, officials there say there's no risk to the folks who live nearby, but the city is urging everyone to avoid the area near Deer Creek while crews are working to contain the spill. Cleanup expected to take several weeks.
Foxconn facilities in Kenosha County could be a haven for electric car battery manufacturing. Could that be what is manufactured at those sites? Well, the president of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce, Tim Sheehy, tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News that it could be, but he needs to see it first.
I do think there's a good chance that they could be making batteries down there. If you looked at the site nationally, it sets up really well for that kind of manufacturing. But again, given the track record, we'll wait to see the batteries roll off the line before I say yes.
Earlier this week, the Milwaukee Common Council did approve an ordinance requiring any new city vehicles to be hybrid or electric.
Wisconsin Republicans calling for a special election for state secretary. Joint resolution approved in the Senate Wednesday asking Governor Tony Evers to let voters decide who will fill the position. Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu says Governor Evers has been too hasty in his appointment.
The governor could have made an interim appointment to keep the office running until a new Secretary of State could be elected, or he could have asked for approval of the Joint Finance Committee to allocate additional interim staff. But instead, the governor decided to make a nearly full-term appointment to constitutionally prescribed elective office.
Governor Evers already announced he's appointing Sarah Godlewski to fill the role left vacant by the retirement of Doug LaFollette on Friday. She is set to serve out the remainder of his term, which runs through 2027.
Coming up, more than 100 Summerfest musical acts revealed.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:35.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Rate Watcher Brian Wickert here to report 30-year fixed rates are back down. If you're a 3 or more person household with annual income less than $127,400 and you're buying your first or next home in the 4-county Milwaukee metro area, low overhead AccuNet has some super special 30-year fixed rate money at 6.0% with 0 points. With as little as 3% down and top-notch credit, the APR is just 6.2. The 30-year fixed APR with no income limit limits is back down to 6.51% with no points and 25% down on a $230,000 loan amount. More than anything, my expert team of senior loan consultants is ready to work with you and your real estate agent to craft your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and offer to purchase so that you have the best shot at winning your next offer. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get a lower rate and a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Jason, is this right? $4,500 off?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes?
Capital customers get up to $4,500 off a brand new heat and air system.
Hang on.
Now through end of April. And for only $160 a month.
$160 a month?
That's for the best system we sell.
The one that basically lasts forever?
Right.
NASA-level technology? $4,500 off?
It's our job to get all our great customers the value they need now.
Okay, look. I get that everything's getting more expensive.
Gotta keep trucking.
And your money's never going to be worth more than it is today.
You just made my argument.
But you gotta be kidding me!
Or for as low as $65 a month, trade in your old furnace or AC for a brand new one.
65 what?
Dollars, Seth. $65.
Are you crazy?
As a Fox.
Don't give away the UV light.
And let's give them a free UV light.
That's worth $900.
The Keep Truckin' sale ends April 30th, so call Capital today or go online at callcapitalcares.com for complete details.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Berghardt.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:37.
Bucks gaining a little bit of ground in their quest to hold on to the top seed in the East. Brandon Snide has sports coming up at 6:45.
The headliners are out. Summerfest unveiling more than 100 musical acts playing at this year's festival. Director of Entertainment Scott Zeal joined us earlier on Wisconsin's Morning News. He says the bands oftentimes are reaching out to them, looking for an open spot at the big gig.
We get calls from a lot of artists that want to come and perform every year, and they help us spread the word to new artists that we attract.
So if you would like to see the list, which includes Earth, Wind, and Fire, Vance Joy, Cypress Hill, the Avett Brothers, Brett Eldridge, Smash Mouth, Jenny Lewis, Scotty McCreery, and yada, yada,
and
yada.
90 more.
And 90 more. Just text the word FEST, F-E-S-T, to the Old National Bank talk and text line. We'll send you the link. 855-616-1620. And a reminder, as always, Summerfest this year, 3 separate weekends starting June 22nd, June 29th, and July 6th.
Of all the places to not get stuck, a stinky sewer in the streets of New York City.
The 911 call started like this.
What's the address in San?
We don't know.
You don't know?
We're stuck in the sewer.
5 boys, 11 and 12 years old.
What do you mean by a sewer? Is it like a grate?
Getting stuck in the underground.
It's like a tunnel.
Of Staten Island, New York. Dispatch spent more than 30 minutes on the phone with the boys, trying to figure out exactly where they were. In the dark.
I hear the sirens.
And in the cold.
It sounded like it went past us.
We could hear their voices a little bit.
They hear you. Call for help.
And I saw them about 40 feet down in the tube.
After being underground for an hour, a safe rescue.
Hold on. We're going to get to you.
Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
You're right. See, they haven't seen it, clearly. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going
What are you guys
in the
doing
sewer.
in the sewer? Also, you're all grounded for the rest.
Right.
Definitely rest of the school year.
But no clowns, right? You didn't see any clowns?
6:39 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
A Lent Friday fish fry is a wonderful tradition. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your family to the Mine Shaft restaurant for the all-you-can-eat cod fish fry for under $10. The Mine Shaft is super affordable and locally family-owned for over 46 years. Let's support the Mine Shaft. The Wednesday and Friday cod fish fry is all you can eat. It's $9.99. Fish fries at other restaurants, $15 or more. At $9.99, this is the best value anywhere. All desserts are buy one, get one free. Your kids and grandkids can safely play in that huge game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your fish fry. That sounds just about perfect. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft on Main Street in beautiful downtown Hartford and right on Highway 41 in Oshkosh with plenty of seating and lots of close parking. Enjoy the all-you-can-eat Friday Lenten fish fry for under $10. Reserve your table. MineshaftRestaurant.com. It is the amazing Mine Shaft.
Time saver traffic, checking on the roads here with Debbie. Deb, actually, given how poor the conditions are in some spots, you had few accidents, if any, right?
Right, yeah.
All right, so that's good news.
Yeah, we've got one disabled vehicle, though. It's on the ramp from 175 southbound to eastbound 94. But, and that's one of those flyover on-ramps, which basically means there's no insulation of soil underneath it, so that's going to be slippery. All your bridges and overpasses are going to be pretty nasty today, so you want to be extra careful. As far as travel times are concerned, we still haven't seen any kind of elevation there. However, we do have slippery stretches through all the northern and western counties. So Jefferson, Dodge, Washington, Ozaukee, Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, all that. Going to be pretty purple on my map, which means slippery stretches. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ 5-day forecast: few rain and snow showers this morning, eventually becoming mostly cloudy into the afternoon with a high of 41. Tomorrow, a bit more sunshine, a high of 43, though tomorrow night into Saturday, we're looking at snow across the area. We could be looking at quite a few inches of snow as you wake up Saturday morning. We'll see a high of 39. Sunday, partly sunny, 44. Monday, mostly cloudy and 42. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team Forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, Milwaukee temperature down to 35 degrees.
Dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now your tired tracks in one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half, but that'll have to do.
Listening to Noah Kahn, performing June 24th on the Briggs & Stratton Big Backyard Stage at Summerfest. Director of Entertainment Scott Zeal calling him the next John Mayer.
And he's coming to Summerfest. And you know what it reminds me of? Another good example of that was Imagine Dragons. Imagine Dragons came and played one of the side stages to a humongous crowd, and now they're playing the amphitheater every other year, it seems like.
That's what Scott said. They like to find, what do you call it, the band on the ground floor? Or
the rising stars.
Just starting to ascend. You get them on one of those smaller stages there at Summerfest, which still have thousands of people.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
And then you catch them when they're on their way up. And then hopefully they have a great experience and want to come back when they're the big show and they've got choices, right?
It sounds like they do. Sounds like a lot of these acts call, hey, can we come in?
Another thing I want to put on your radar for today happening in the news is we'll have another Milwaukee Public Museum reveal. We're going to learn more about the Wisconsin Journey Gallery that will be part of MPM's new $240 million museum set to open in 2026. We already had the reveal of one of the 5 permanent galleries, Time Travel. That's the one with the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot more at that. They had some of the gallery designers there who are helping imagine that space and are going to create the exhibits and the different things that you'll see. And so I imagine they'll be back in some form talking about, okay, this new space. And that there are going to be 5 permanent galleries and then one thing for the traveling exhibits and things like that. Mm-hmm. And the next one, today they're going to be talking about Wisconsin Journey. This is what the museum told us about this space initially. The Wisconsin Journey Gallery will be an entire exhibit floor focused on the geological wonders and strong and varied cultures of Wisconsin, from the Driftless region to the Northwoods, the Apostle Islands, Great Lakes, and Wisconsin's vast prairie lands. So exactly what that looks like and what they're thinking is going to be revealed later today. Keep an eye on that for you. I'll bring you some of the highlights tomorrow.
Yeah.
And through the day here on Wisconsin's Morning News. 6:43, Brandon Snide has sports coming up next.
When a new baby is added to the mix, saving money becomes a real priority. Shopping at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores can help. With an abundance of baby clothing and toys, all thrift store priced at pennies on the dollar. You'll spend a little to get a lot. Find great deals on gently used baby clothes and toys at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
On April 4th, your vote is critical to getting Wisconsin back on track. Hi, I'm Dan Knodel, and I'm asking for your vote to be your next state senator. I started my first small business in Menominee Falls when I was 17 years old, and that experience taught me about hard work and the value of a dollar. Simply put, that's the mindset I'm bringing to Madison to fight for you. Join me to keep our community safe, invest in our local roads and bridges, and get Wisconsin back on track. Vote for me, Dan Knodel, in the special election for State Senate on April 4th. Visit danknodel.org to learn more. Paid for by Knodel for Senate.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands. You just can't pass on Less's Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
Giannis scored 31 points, snagged 14 boards, and Chris Middleton added 19 as the Milwaukee Bucks took care of business at home, defeating the San Antonio Spurs by a final of 130-94. The Bucks used a strong 15-2 run to finish the first half and didn't look back as they secure their 52nd win on the season. With the win, the Bucks remain 2.5 games in front of the Boston Celtics for the top spot in the Eastern Conference, and they get ready for a 4-game road trip beginning in Utah Friday night. Over to the Diamond as the Milwaukee Brewers are just 1 week away from opening their season in Chicago to take on the Cubs and are back in action today as they get set to face off with the Padres. First pitch is set for 3:10.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports opinion commentary on Wisconsin's morning news. Here's Brendan Snide.
The Milwaukee Brewers season opener is just 1 week away from today, where their 2021 Cy Young winner Corbin Burnes will likely get the start against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. This is the same starting pitcher that somehow lost his arbitration case against the Brewers this winter and voiced his displeasure in regards to that as spring training started roughly a month ago. The Brewers also enter 2023 with some mixed expectations for their play on the field, but one thought remains constant for most Brewers fans off the field. Will they be able to extend Burnes, who is set to become a free agent after the 2024 season? The answer, well, chances are high that is not going to happen. And if yesterday's news of Burnes changing his representation from Creative Arts Agency to Scott Boras was any indication, the Cy Young winner will likely be looking for a massive and well-earned payday. Now, with the Brewers unlikely to dish out the money that Corbin will rightfully demand, new Brewers general manager Matt Arnold has a huge decision to make in only his first year. Do you let the guy walk for free in 2024, or do you make a trade within, let's say, the next year? And when is the best time to trade, arguably, your best starting pitcher in franchise history? When is his value the highest? My take, if it was up to me, I would pay him, but since nobody cares what I would do, they care what the Brewers will do. And in my opinion, the Brewers will not pay him. And if that's to be the case, I hate to say this, as I am a huge Corbin Burnes fan, but if the Brewers are to remain competitive in the near future and in the way they choose to operate, Matt Arnold needs to trade him prior to 2024, maybe as soon as this season. It wouldn't be difficult to find a team that believes their winning window is open now and willing to pay any price for a top pitcher in the league. Now, I don't necessarily see that happening soon, but it really all depends on how these next few weeks start and months start for the Milwaukee Brewers. They start out slow. Do not be surprised to see the rumor mill start to turn around in Milwaukee. You think I'm crazy about this? That's okay. Everybody thinks I'm crazy about it too. But then I remember this is the same team, the same ownership that sent the league's best closer in Josh Hader in August of last season when they were in first place with just 2 months to go in the season. That was also the same team that missed the postseason to a team that went on to play in the World Series. Look, nothing surprises me anymore with the Milwaukee Brewers. And if they want to continue to compete without dishing out record-setting contracts and extensions to players that are, in my opinion, worth it, this is the unfortunate path they must follow.
Vince Vitrano here from Wisconsin's Morning News, here to tell you for the first time ever, you can download our show wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen, you can listen to us now too. Listen time and time again to your favorite segments like Super Plow, The Legend of Sean Wendt.
So I got on the phone and I called Sean Wendt. I said, Sean, I need some help.
Fake promos. And more.
Why, in all that is holy, is that not?
Why isn't that the problem? That's a great question.
Keep up with us on Wisconsin's Morning News wherever you get your podcasts.
Dan Kelly teamed up with Rod Rogan in 2014 to form Rogan Kelly. Dan has since left the firm and is currently running for a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. So senior counsel Colleen Jones was promoted to partner. As Rogan Jones, exceptional quality and value remain hallmarks for Wisconsin businesses. They're a smaller, more personalized firm specializing in business law and business litigation. Yet Rogan Jones remains AV rated, earning the highest level of excellence for legal ability and ethical reputation. Get started today at RoganJones.com.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept called the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're 50 or older and want a bigger, better retirement, call Mitch Lyons Wealth to get a free copy of this brand new movie at 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you'll get it completely free. Plus, I'll include a copy of my book, Retirement of Steel. And I'll even pay your shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Checking in on the roads, we do have some hazardous driving conditions, Debbie.
A little bit, yes. We've got north and west of Milwaukee County with very slippery stretches around the area. One broken down vehicle on the ramp from 175 southbound to eastbound in the Stadium interchange. It's off on the right shoulder, but those bridges and overpasses are going to be extra slick. The water's coming down, the temperature's not great, and if there isn't any insulation underneath that road surface, it's going to be very slippery. Right now, travel times are pretty much manageable. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ's 5-day forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Should have an end to the rain and snow early this morning and then otherwise cloudy with a high of 41 degrees. Mostly cloudy and a low down to 30 tonight. Friday, mostly sunny, quiet weather, high of 43. But Saturday, we've got snow, 4 to 6 inches possible in some parts of southeast Wisconsin, and a high of 39 degrees. Sunshine again on Sunday, partly sunny skies, high of 44. Right now, we're at 35 degrees in Milwaukee. This trial played out for weeks on national TV. Alec Murdaugh, whom a jury decided did in fact kill his wife and son, but the conviction and attention on the case has caused new scrutiny on a cold case related to the same family. ABC News crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett is with us from Washington. Brad, I know in your law enforcement history, you've looked into a lot of cold cases before. Tell us about this one that now involves Alec Murdaugh's oldest son.
So it involves potentially Buster Murdaugh. So in July of 2015, 8 years ago roughly, Buster Murdaugh would have been in high school. He had a high school friend by the name of Stephen Smith. Stephen was found dead on a remote road outside of town, and I think the initial reporting was it might be a hit and run because he's laying in the middle of the road, deceased. So the South Carolina State Police, the troopers, and paramedics show up, and they both work the scene and I think jointly conclude that it doesn't look like a hit and run to them, it looks like a murder. It looks like the body was just dumped or placed at this particular location, literally in the center of the road. Now, they based that on the following. There's no apparent wounds to his lower extremities. His shoes are still on, which apparently is almost impossible to keep your shoes on if you get hit by a car, as gruesome as that sounds, going 50-plus miles an hour. And he has a head wound, and he's got defensive wounds on his hands. There's no tread marks where somebody skid. There's no glass. There's no glass in or on Stephen. And so that's how they write it up. Well, it gets to the coroner, and the coroner then basically concludes that, yes, he died of blunt force trauma, but it's a result of a car hitting him, completely against what the initial investigators believe it was. So the case sort of dies at that point. When Alex Murdaugh is being investigated for killing his wife and his son, which he was convicted and now doing life, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLED, apparently unearthed this case during their investigation. They put together Alex's case, and they then figured out, well, this is not a hit and run. This is clearly a homicide. And now they're investigating it. So how Buster Murdaugh fits into this is that, according to at least what I've watched, the HBO and the Netflix docs that are out there on this case, that Stephen was gay. His mother has actually said that he was, and that he had some sort of relationship, according to some kids around them, that Buster and Stephen were having a relationship, and that Stephen called after he ran out of gas that night and asked Buster to come pick him up. Now, does that mean Buster was involved? No, but it is sort of at least some connection. The other bizarre aspect that the next day, when Stephen's body is found, about an hour or so after that discovery, Alex Murdaugh shows up at the wreck scene, or where the body was found. Like, well, how did he even know to go out there, right? I mean, the town didn't even know Stephen was deceased on this road. So you have that aspect, like, what's going on there? Alex was known for controlling things, and this might be another example of that.
So if they exhumed the body and investigated, what do you learn 8 years later?
A lot. I've learned a lot 25 years later in homicide cases. I assume SLED has done the following, because this is what I would do. You would go back and obviously re-interview all those classmates. And, Buster's probably not talking to them, but Buster apparently was with some other boys that night. Have they located them? I assume they've stepped to the coroner or the medical examiner and said, well, why did you write it up this way when the troopers said it wasn't this way? Was pressure placed on you, etc. And then if you add the autopsy, it may give them some, you'd be surprised, even 8 years later, which you can still sort of assess if you know what you're doing, that may add to, this mystery.
When Law & Order says rip from the headlines, these are the stories they're talking about. Brad, thanks very much for your perspective this morning.
You're welcome. Take care.
Business headlines are up next. They're sponsored by Old National Bank. Get old. Here's the Milwaukee Business Journal's Teddy Nichol.
A Milwaukee developer wants to make Economilwaukee a new healthcare hub halfway between Milwaukee and Madison. It's planning a new outpatient VA clinic for the city's Olympia Fields development, and the area's developer is also talking with multiple other healthcare providers about locating there. A new report finds that the city of Milwaukee would need to lay off hundreds of workers, including at the police and fire departments, if it doesn't get more state funding. Local officials have been lobbying hard for state legislators to pass more shared revenue to Milwaukee. Milwaukee is among the hardest places in the country for renters to find an apartment. A new study finds that heading into 2023, there are an average of 11 renters competing for each available apartment, compared with just 8 rentals competing for each national unit. I'm Teddy Nichol with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Old National Bank is asking everyone to get old. But first, people have questions.
Will it take me years to get old?
No, getting old can literally happen in minutes.
Is getting old like a complicated process?
Not at all. Just stop into one of our banking centers or visit our website. We even have an app for that.
Will I look any different after I get old?
You may look happier and more relaxed with a banking partner like us.
Definitely want to get old.
Introducing Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You can rely on Blaine's Farm and Fleet for the best prices on just about everything, like Hillman Builders Hardware. Right now, it's $1.99 a pound. All ADS culverts, tubing, and poly pipe now 10% off. And save $100 on the Hobart Handler 210 MVP MIG welder. On sale, $1049.99. For the best prices on the products you need, shop Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
This March, you can watch the madness, but wouldn't you much rather experience the mania? It's Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells 120-game March Mania giveaway. On March 25th, every 2 hours from noon to 8 p.m., 3 players will be randomly chosen to play in our March Mania promotional game, where they will have a chance to shoot for up to $2,000 in cash. Then, at 10 p.m., up to $30,000. It's the 120-game March Mania giveaway. March 25th at Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
See Ho Chunk Gaming representative for more
details.
Some people referred to her as the coal miner's daughter. To us, she'll be remembered as Always Loretta.
You ain't woman enough to take my man.
An Evening with Emily Portman as Always Loretta. Saturday, April 22nd, 7 p.m. at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets are on sale now and available through Ticketmaster and the Casino Gift Shop. Always Loretta, a Loretta Lynn tribute show. April 22nd at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
Must be 21 to attend concert and enter the casino floor.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhafels.
Your hometown hub for everything that matters. The latest news, traffic, weather, and sports on Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
7 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Thursday, March 23rd. Our top story, a hit-and-run arrest in Racine County.
I'm Eric Bilstead. The Summerfest headliner list is out.
I'm Brandon Snide. Leverage Watch in Green Bay goes on.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Starting to see delays now kicking in from about 84th Street through the stadium. Right now it's 11 minutes to get from the zoo to downtown. Westbound side is going to be a little bit tight through the stadium as well. And then on 41 southbound, we're starting to see some slowdowns from Burleigh all the way down past Mayfair Road. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Laziga on News Radio WTMJ.
Rain and snow moving out this morning, then cloudy skies and a high of 41. Mostly cloudy tonight, a low temperature down to 30. Milwaukee temperature right now at 35 degrees. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the headliners are out. Summerfest unveiling more than 100 musical acts that will play this year's big gig. Director of Entertainment Scott Zeal joined us earlier on Wisconsin's Morning News. Says oftentimes they got bands reaching out to them looking for an open spot.
We have a lot of diversity in terms of music, rock and hip hop and country and EDM. We want to present something for every possible customer who comes to Summerfest.
Now, if you want to see the list, it is out. You can text the word FEST to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. Summerfest celebrating its 55th anniversary this year, sticking with the 3 consecutive weekends model of Thursday through Saturday, starting June 22nd.
A hit-and-run suspect accused of injuring a We Energies flagger in Racine County is in custody this morning. This incident happened Tuesday on Honey Lake Road. This is near Spring Prairie Road in the town of Burlington. Now, the sheriff's office says multiple tips led them to Bob Sleminski's home. This happened Wednesday. His Chevy Silverado, the one they believe was used in the hit-and-run, was found covered by a tarp in the backyard. Investigators say Sleminski has confessed to hitting the We Energies worker, Carly Rybarczyk.
Assembly approval now for 2 reckless driving bills.
The bills would increase penalties for reckless driving and allow law enforcement to tow cars of repeat offenders. Representative Bob Donovan is sponsoring the pair.
This bill sends a message to criminals that this behavior will no longer be tolerated and you will indeed be punished.
The bills have gathered widespread bipartisan support in the legislature, and now Governor Tony Evers has committed to signing them when they reach his desk. Evers tells our news partners at TMJ4 News,
I'm looking forward to signing these bills. It's going to be big for Milwaukee, but it's going to be big for the state.
Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
As former President Donald Trump awaits a possible indictment in the Stormy Daniels hush money case, the former president also facing a setback in a separate investigation. ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
A lawyer representing former President Trump in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case is preparing to appear before a grand jury. A panel of judges yesterday rejected Trump's effort to block his lawyer, Evan Corcoran, from testifying. It comes after a judge determined there's compelling preliminary evidence that Trump knowingly misled his attorneys so they would file a sworn statement, even though he knew it was false. Sources say Corcoran is expected to turn over documents as soon as today.
TikTok's CEO is set to defend his company in front of Congress today as the app faces a potential ban in the U.S. Justin Finch from ABC News.
Lawmakers and TikTok users speaking out ahead of today's testimony.
We can solve the issues without taking away something so precious to us all.
Some argue their small businesses would close without the exposure the app has given them. But one Republican lawmaker fired back with this response.
Those influencers, congressmen, who it's their livelihood, what's your message to them? Find another job.
Opponents of the app say TikTok poses a serious threat to national security. The Chinese-owned company collects users' data, including biometric information. Critics worry that data could be handed over to China's government.
Coming up, they don't usually get tornadoes here. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:04.
It's sad, isn't it?
When a candidate falls behind and starts airing misleading, negative attacks that are completely false, this year that candidate is Dan Kelly. Dan and his friends are trying to scare you about Janet Protasewicz. They don't want you to know that Janet Protasewicz spent 25 years prosecuting dangerous criminals. Dan just wants to feed you a dirty pack of lies because he can't stand on his own record. Did you know Dan Kelly got rich defending child sex predators? It's true. And Kelly is an extremist who compared Social Security to welfare, saying seniors on Social Security and Medicare have, quote, chosen to retire without sufficient assets. So Dan Kelly, if you're listening, listen closely. We're going to fight your lies with something you might find remarkable. It's called the truth.
Paid for by Janet for Justice.
Get 50% off tax prep at Jackson Hewitt. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max savings $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:06.
Brewers opening day a week from today. We'll find out from Craig Counsell how he thinks the pitching staff is shaping up. And Brandon Snide has sports at 7:15.
Cell phone video capturing a rare tornado just east of downtown Los Angeles, tearing roofs off buildings. CBS correspondent Jen Chimlian was there where it hit.
Gusting winds sent debris flying. Almost a dozen buildings were damaged.
Bunch of wind, like crazy wind, and just everything flying everywhere.
It picked us up and threw us against the fence as we were trying to get inside for shelter.
Take a look at all this damage done in an industrial sector of Montebello by a tornado of all things.
At least one person was taken to the hospital hit by that flying debris.
Now, there was no tornado warning in place in Montebello when that hit.
Wisconsinites looking ahead somewhere else for better weather. Spring break, they've got more options. A number of new flights out of Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. President of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce, Tim Sheehy, telling Wisconsin's Afternoon News, more options, never a bad thing.
When you're traveling, if you can't find a Badger hat somewhere warm, you're just not looking. Because this is a state that travels well for good reason because of the winter months we have. And so having Mitchell Airport add those flights to accommodate people who want to go get a little warmth before baseball season starts, it's a great opportunity.
New flights being added include trips to Florida, Phoenix, and Jamaica.
Everybody got out safely on the ground when a Southwest Airlines pilot on a flight from Las Vegas to Columbus, Ohio, became ill and couldn't fly the plane.
After taking off from Las Vegas, Southwest Airlines says one of the pilots became sick. The captain was apparently in a state unable to fly, so an off-duty pilot from another airline who was in the back flying as a passenger jumped into action, going to the flight deck and helping the first officer make the return to Las Vegas. The pilot from the other airline handled the radios, according to Southwest, while the first officer flew and landed the plane back in Las Vegas, where the captain got medical attention. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Dude, it's Airplane.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
For real, that happened.
It's a classic.
It's the exact same thing. Guy got sick, needed someone else to help.
Right. Remember the flight attendant went back? Did Elaine go back? Can anyone here fly a plane? 7:08 on Wisconsin's Morning News. News is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Online at sidingunlimited.com.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof, on the windows and doors, on the siding. When your home's integrity fails you, you need the people who won't. Siding Unlimited. The dad started a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited. Brought up sons Eric and Aaron Brown to be trustworthy, to value their own integrity, and after college to take over the Siding Unlimited biz. The boys expanded Siding Unlimited beyond siding to windows and doors, roofs and decks. Your home's integrity factors. Now you can buy those things from lots of people, but I wouldn't. I value the integrity of Eric, Aaron, and the talented American craftsmen that are the Siding Unlimited team. And I'm not just their spokesman. I'm a Siding Unlimited customer. Reliable, truthful, talented, and trustworthy. Winners of many industry awards and customer accolades. They are sidingunlimited.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Evans Transportation Services. Thank heavens for Evans. Rely on one company for accounting, shipping, and tracking. Evans Transportation Services. Family owned for 40 years and continuing to grow. Evans Transportation Services in Brookfield.
From the WTMJ Traffic Center, let's get a check on the roads with Debbie.
All right, we had that earlier disabled vehicle on southbound 175, the ramp to get onto 94 eastbound. That has been cleared. We do have delays, though, right now. Eastbound from the zoo into downtown up to about 16 minutes. Pretty solid out of the zoo all the way through the stadium. Northbound 41 slowing down from Blue Mound Road up to almost Mayfair Road. Southbound side is going to be a little bit slow right around that North Avenue curve. Southbound 43 is just starting to get into the act. Right around Hampton Avenue is where you're going to start to see those delays as you're making your way towards the Marquette. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ 5-day forecast, rain and snow showers this morning, ending around about 10 a.m. Then we'll have mostly cloudy skies and a high of 41 today. Tonight, mostly cloudy, we fall to 30. Tomorrow, a bit more sunshine and up to 43. But snow comes in Friday night into Saturday, looking at quite a few inches of snow across the area and potentially some heavier bands of some snow. Looking at a high of just 39 on Saturday. Strong winds out of the northeast, gusting near 35. Sunday, partly sunny, back to 44. And on Monday, mostly cloudy, 42. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team Forecast on WTMJ.
Right now, Milwaukee temperature at 35 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Vitrano.
Stop texting me airline quotes.
They just keep coming in now.
Stephen Cudahy. Did that
go.
Southwest pilot have the
Starting
fish?
to shimmy.
Right. We do not know if the Southwest pilot had the fish.
We're looking at that.
Got a question for the IRS on your taxes as the filing deadline approaches. I don't even want to think about calling them.
Your call is important to us.
Yeah, I know, right? You could sit on hold forever.
Thank you for your patience. You're the next caller.
Yes! Yes! I'm the next caller!
Or there are other ways of reaching out and getting your questions answered. ABC's Daria Albinger with today's tax tip.
You've got questions? The Taxman has answers. I'm Daria Albinger with today's tax tip. Between the W-2s, the bank statements, the letters from the charities, and where did I put that? Fill in the blank. You may be at loose ends right about now. So take a breath, log on to your computer, and go to the Internal Revenue Service website, irs.gov, or download the app, IRS to Go.
Planning ahead for filing return yourself, then it has a lot of good information. It can help you, particularly if you're planning to file electronically, which we always would encourage you to do.
IRS spokesman Eric Smith says take a few minutes now and save yourself considerable time once you begin to complete that return.
Choose direct deposit if you're getting a refund. Choose to pay your taxes electronically. You'll get peace of mind that your payments are received and processed. So that's always a good option. So irs.gov, always a good resource.
With today's tax tip, Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Tax tips are brought to you by the Neal Group. For less stress with the IRS, visit nealgroup.net. That's NEAL Group.net for a free consultation.
You're going to have me hang up.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution. I just finished writing a book about my experiences dealing with the IRS. It is already a bestseller. The IRS is the most ruthless collection agency in the world. They can seize your bank accounts, garnish your wages, and even take your house. The state can deny your professional license as a teacher, nurse, or other occupation. Do you want your employer to know about your problems? My book tells you what you can do so you don't have to worry about them ever again. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you step up and do something. We can help. We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and represent you in tax audits. Make the right choice and go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Get 0% for up to 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. PellaWI.com. For Milwaukee sports broadcaster Jeff Levering, this was the final straw.
When I walked into my son's room and there was frost on the hardware on the inside of the house.
My wife was getting upset with the drafts coming through the doors. That was it.
It was time for the Leverings to call Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Putting new windows and doors in your home is a big decision. With all the options that Pella has, everybody on your staff has done a great job of making a really difficult decision super simple. And I can't wait to have them at my house.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 4 years. The beauty of Pella's designs allows us to customize, whether your new windows are painted, stained, or left bare, to complement your unique home decor. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 4 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 3/31/2023.
If you're looking for the finest of furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
The NFL new league year is here, and well, unfortunately, QB Watch is still in effect for the Packers and the Jets. And the question remains, who holds the most leverage in a trade for the four-time MVP?
I still think that the Packers hold the most leverage and Aaron Rodgers holds the least leverage. I also will say this, any leverage at this point feels personal. The idea that the Packers have leverage, the leverage would be just to tick off Aaron Rodgers by holding him hostage and tick off the Jets by not allowing him to start to integrate into their system by saying, you know what, Aaron, we're just going to make you wait this out. If they don't give us enough, we're just going to wait until August and then we'll make the trade. But ultimately, is that really in the best interest of the Packers? To your point, that's where the leverage starts to go away. For me, the leverage feels personal. The leverage right now is a matter of convenience, not a matter of practicality.
ESPN's Jeff Darlington on hashtag Leverage Watch there. Now, the NFL draft is just over a month away, but regardless of that, regardless of a lot of the offseason still to be had, some think the Packers offseason has been quite underwhelming.
I think it's a fail for the Green Bay Packers. And when you look at it, they're going to lose Alan Lazar, which they probably were going to allow to walk out anyway, even if Aaron Rodgers was coming back. And Aaron Rodgers, they lose him. So it's just a fail to me. There's no such thing as an incomplete or a pass for Green Bay. When you lose the best quarterback in franchise history, then, you lose a lot.
That's debatable, I suppose, but nonetheless. That's ESPN's Keyshawn Johnson on his thoughts surrounding Green Bay heading into 2023.
Thanks, Key. Great, got it noted.
It's debatable. Over to the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks entered the night with a 2-game lead over the Boston Celtics for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. And they were looking to add more to it.
Glides, passes, near corner three. Joe Ingles, you betcha. That's finishing a quarter. Milwaukee, a 15-2 run to close it out. They've got the 66-51 lead going into the break.
Dave Kane on the call there on WTMJ as the Bucks would use that 15-2 run heading into half, and they would never look back, easily taking care of the Spurs by a final score of 130-94. Giannis led the charge for the Bucks with 31 points and 14 boards in only 23 minutes of work. Some would say that's MVP quality, but we'll digress on that talk for now. And Cash Money Middleton also added 19, a good game for him. After the game, Giannis was asked about his health versus seeding with only 10 games remaining on their schedule.
If you had to choose between number one seed or health, I'll take health any day. If I think guys are healthy and we finish third or fourth or whatever, fifth, we have a chance. I think our team is really good. I think guys playing high level. I think we've built good habits and we still have 10 more games to build even better habits. But at the end of the day, number one priority, this guy is being healthy. Hopefully we can finish with the best record in the league.
The Bucks now get set for a 4-game road trip beginning in Utah Friday night. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m.
Coming up, this guy planning retirement.
2 years.
Republicans pushing back, the governor already moving on. 7:19 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Every hour.
We're following some breaking news out of South Milwaukee. A death investigation is underway.
Every day.
2 weeks before the spring election, the two candidates running for Wisconsin Supreme Court met face-to-face this afternoon.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
What this bill will do is simple. It will restore access to safe, legal abortion in Wisconsin to what it was on June 23rd, 2022, nothing more and nothing less.
News Radio WTMJ.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
If you enjoy delicious free homemade pizza, please listen up, especially if you're a coach in management or if you own a company. WTMJ's John Mercure here today and every Thursday at the Mind Chef restaurant in beautiful Hartford. When you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza for free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free. Buy 20, you get 20 free pizzas. No coupons, no gimmicks, just free pizza. Only at the amazing Mind Chef restaurant. Order pizza today for your loyal employees, your key clients. They will really appreciate it and appreciate you. Bring in your family, basketball or hockey team or school club for the free pizza. It's a fun team-building event. Grandparents, how about this? Take your lovely kids to the Mine Shaft today for pizza. They'll love the huge game room. The Mine Shaft is in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh with lots of seating, lots of close parking. Buy one pizza today, get one free. Call the Mine Shaft now and pick up your hot pizza in just a couple of minutes or dine in. MineShaftRestaurant.com. It's big food, it's big fun, it's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Upgrade to a beautiful Kohler Luxstone shower in as little as a day or two with the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com today.
Traffic is sponsored by the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services, WI.com. What's happening, Deb?
Well, we got an accident now, 94 eastbound, right in the stadium interchange. Looks like it's like a red car and a dump truck. But I'm not seeing too much damage, but then again, my angle of the camera is not all that short. So it's going to be a little bit slow heading out of the zoo interchange past that scene. So give yourself about 19 minutes to get from the zoo into downtown. Northbound on 41, backing up from Blue Mound all the way up past Swan Boulevard. Southbound 43 is going to be backing up from just before Silver Spring, almost to Bender Road, all the way down past Hampton Avenue, coming up on Capitol Drive, and then it kind of opens up and you're in okay shape. Northbound 4394 is going to be slow from just north of Howard Avenue up past the KK River. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on News Radio WTMJ.
Storm team forecast for today. This rain and snow should be coming to an end this morning, then cloudy skies and a high of 41 degrees. Low temperature gets down to 30 degrees tonight. Quiet weather on Friday, mostly sunny, high of 43. And then a snow event of some measure Saturday. Could see 4 to 6 inches in the southeast corner of southeast Wisconsin. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll have a better idea tomorrow. Saturday's high 39 degrees, then partly sunny on Sunday with a high of 44. Right now in Milwaukee, 35 degrees. No, Petty's not playing Summerfest. Eric goes, I think he's playing.
It's like, wait a minute. No, unfortunately, no.
He's on the list of now unavailable
God
artists.
rest his soul, one of the best ever.
New push this morning to have a special election to fill the seat of Wisconsin State Secretary, as despite having been just reelected, the man who held the office for nearly a half century, Doug LaFollette, 82 years old, has only now decided he's too tired to keep it up. His most significant accomplishment in office appears to have been getting a plaque added to the bust of a distant relative of his, fighting Bob LaFollette.
And it was a long process. 2 years it took to achieve this because we had to do it with a committee.
And he had the time to do it. The state secretary has virtually no power nor duties. Here's how a recent Milwaukee Journal Sentinel article describes the post. During his tenure, lawmakers have reduced LaFollette's office to a small room in the basement of the state capitol with 2 positions and a budget of less than $250,000 a year. The office keeps the Great Seal of the state of Wisconsin. We discussed at some length what that might be.
Well, it's necessary for every piece of legislation, right, that gets passed and signed by the governor.
Is it like a stamp or like when you get something notarized, right? There's like a thing and it...
There's the sound effect. I was waiting for that.
Or maybe it's like a rubber stamp or the thunk, thunk.
Yeah. And then, because there's been talk about about whether or not a Secretary of State could maybe hold up legislation.
Yes, actually, we went through that during Act 10 because the Secretary of State needs to, quote unquote, publish a new law that's been drafted in a major state publication. Or so that, not for nothing, but there are ceremonial duties that occupy that office's time. But when he said, talking about the Great Seal, like it keeps the Great Seal, because everything relates to movies to me. Like I was thinking Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, like those knights that are in there guarding the Holy Grail.
Who are you? The last of 3 brothers who swore an oath to find the Grail.
There's La Follette.
Got it. It was 700 years ago. No time to wait.
Mr. Secretary, where is the Great Seal? Been guarding it for 700 years.
Oh, boy.
Here's the additional scandal. Now, Governor Tony Evers has already decided to appoint former State Treasurer Sarah Godlewski to the post. She's out of a job. She bowed out of the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate last summer, but a rising star in the Democratic Party in the state.
They expect big things from her.
They have plans for her. She has designs they expect to run for higher office. A lot easier to do that when you are in office already, especially in a job where you don't really have to do much. But you can keep your fundraising apparatus, all of those things stay active. So the governor's going to appoint her to the position. Republicans crying foul, even some suggesting that this was somehow premeditated. La Follette let them know, like, hey, I'm going to win, and then I'm out. And you can put Godlewski or whoever else you want in there. The Senate,
could be. I mean, that's politics.
State Senate Wednesday passed a joint resolution. No Democrats voted in favor, calling on Governor Evers to hold a special election for the position. Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu, Republican Oostburg.
The governor could have made an interim appointment to keep the office running until a new Secretary of State could be elected, or he could have asked for approval of the Joint Finance Committee to allocate additional interim staff. But instead, the governor decided to make a nearly full-term appointment to constitutionally prescribed elective office.
As I would say, in fairness, any governor would.
Yes,
Republican,
of course.
Democrat,
Yep.
whatever.
We've seen it before. This is what they do.
Sure. But there may have been some premeditation here, and I think that's a fair criticism, if you like, but the expectation that he would just open this up then to the voters, I mean, come on, that's not going to happen.
For a position that you could argue doesn't do anything.
Well, that's the other thing. You can't simultaneously say this is such a huge miscarriage of justice, and we're dumping on the voters because they didn't get to pick this spot that we actually don't think is very important anyway. Either way, I'm happy because we get to talk about Doug LaFossil.
2 years.
727 on Wisconsin's Morning News. News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 1.5% in trading on Wednesday, down to 32,030. The NASDAQ off more than 1.5% to 11,670, and the S&P 500 closed down 66 points to 3937. For a deeper dive on the markets, listen to the Annex Wealth Management SWOT podcast. That's SWOT. Listen wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Hey, the winter blues and gray skies are almost behind us. Can't wait to get out of the house. Just what the doctor ordered, right? Little fresh air? Well, it all sounds good, but let's do a joint check. How about those achy joints? What if they're not ready for your uptick in activity? Time to do something about it. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik, reminding you to stop with the steroids, stop with the possible surgery chatter. Lock in on a better way to get lasting relief. It's called QC Kinetics, and it is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics can get you back on your feet doing the stuff you want to do with no downtime. Hey, the old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. If you're contemplating surgery, do yourself a favor. Call QC Kinetics. Learn more. It's wildly popular, all natural, and a great alternative way to get lasting pain relief. No surgery, no drugs. Give them a call, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later. Because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Arlington Park Cemetery. Find us at dignitymemorial.com.
4141 South 27th Street, Greenfield, Wisconsin, 53221.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel. Our travel advisors can help you travel anywhere in the world.
Whether you're looking for a group tour or prefer to customize your own unique experience, we have the expertise to craft your next extraordinary journey, including some amazing options from our partners, Delta Vacations, Holland America Line, and Uniworld Boutique River Cruises, just to name a few. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. There are memories to be made this summer, and Fox will get you there.
Coming up on 7:30, I'm Vince Vitrano. Our top story, waking up to a sloppy, wintry mix. More snow on the way.
I'm Eric Bilstead. All of the Summerfest headliners are out.
I'm Brandon Snide. Giannis and the Bucks look to keep pace in the East.
I'm Debbie Lazica. Going to be a slow ride along 94 eastbound from before Highway 100 all the way through the zoo to the stadium, where you'll find an accident off on the right shoulder at the stadium interchange of 94 eastbound. So just be careful with that. We've also got northbound 41 slowing down out of the zoo interchange up past Swan Boulevard.
This morning, rain and snow will be moving out. Cloudy today and a high of 41 degrees. Right now, our temperature 36.
The CEO of TikTok, Shou-Zi Chu, will testify today on Capitol Hill. The House Energy and Commerce Committees raising concerns about the privacy and safety of data on the Chinese-owned app. Some prominent TikTokers are pushing back against a proposed ban, but Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw of Texas said Wednesday,
"It's not the end of the world. Get rid of TikTok. They are using your data, and if you don't care that they're using your data, you might care that they can eventually weaponize that data."
The grand jury weighing potential criminal charges against former President Trump could reconvene today. The grand jury's hearing testimony related to payments made to adult actress Stormy Daniels in 2016. Armed police officers back in Denver schools today, a day after two East High School administrators were shot and wounded. Authorities said it was by a student who had agreement to be patted down each day. The student was later found dead, one of the administrators in serious condition. The Bank of England announced an 11th consecutive interest rate increase as it tries to cool down inflation. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, portions of southeast Wisconsin waking up to snow this morning. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Marissa Wallison.
A lot of us are seeing mainly rain with some snowflakes mixed in. That is mainly south of a line stretching from, say, Port Washington towards Beaver Dam. Now, north of that, including westbound, we are getting some snow right now, and this is the area that we could be looking at an inch of snow. So West Bend, Beaver Dam, north up towards Fond du Lac and Sheboygan this morning. Farther to the south, it's going to again be more of that mixed bag, though there could be some slick conditions as you head out the door this morning.
Things starting to clear out now. Just some lingering snow in Milwaukee and into northern Racine County. Larger snowstorm is expected Friday night into Saturday morning. 2 to 4 inches of snow with quite a few spots seeing up to 6. The complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up at 20 to 8.
We now know all the headliners. The list is out. Summerfest unveiling more than 100 musical acts playing at this year's festival. Director of Entertainment Scott Zeal joined us earlier on Wisconsin's Morning News and says the bands oftentimes reach out to the big gig looking for open spots.
We get calls from a lot of artists that want to come and perform every year, and they help us spread the word to new artists that we attract.
So we have the list. Just text the word FEST, F-E-S-T, to the Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. We will send it back to you. Reminder, Summerfest is 3 consecutive weekends, June 22nd, June 29th, and July 6th.
A guilty verdict in a Kenosha County murder trial.
After 10 hours of deliberation, the jury handed down the guilty verdict for Zachariah Anderson, convicted of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, Rosalio Gutierrez. It was a circumstantial case. The body of Gutierrez has never been found since his disappearance in March 2020, but his blood was found in Anderson's car. Prosecutors arguing successfully that there's no other explanation for the evidence there was. He now faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison when he appears in court for sentencing on May 16th. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
In New Berlin, a hearing will be held this evening discussing an oil spill that has taken place there. They'll address that spill that occurred last week. TMJ4's Elaine Rojas Castillo.
On Tuesday, the mayor declared a state of emergency within the city limits due to what they called an environmental hazard. The impacted area near behind the post office on South Moreland Road was also blocked off to allow crews to create a safe passageway for larger cleanup equipment to do its job quickly.
There is no risk to the residents, but the city is urging everybody to avoid that area near Deer Creek while crews continue to contain that spill.
News is sponsored by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells, your grown-up getaway. Coming up, girls head to City Hall. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:34.
This March, you can watch the madness, but wouldn't you much rather experience the mania? It's Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells 120K March Mania Giveaway. On March 25th, every 2 hours from noon to 8 p.m., 3 players will be randomly chosen to play in our March Mania promotional game, where they will have a chance to shoot for up to $2,000 in cash. Then, at 10 p.m., up to 30 grand. It's the 120K March Mania Giveaway. March 25th at Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
See Ho Chunk Gaming representative for more details.
Some people referred to her as the coal miner's daughter. To us, she'll be remembered as Always Loretta. An Evening with Emily Portman as Always Loretta. Saturday, April 22nd, 7 p.m. at Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells. Tickets are on sale now and available through Ticketmaster and the Casino Gift Shop. Always Loretta, a Loretta Lynn tribute show. April 22nd at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
Must be 21 to attend concert and enter the casino floor.
Reel in the deals at Fleet Farm's Fishing and Marine event, going on now. From tackle boxes to reels, stock up on everything you need for fishing season in one stop. Shop top brands like Rapala, Berkeley, and Garmin. And don't miss this limited time deal. Catch 30% off all Northland tackle lures. Plus, get 40% off Suffix Elite and 832 braided fishing line. Get it all during the Fishing and Marine event at Fleet Farm, your fishing headquarters.
Make 2023 your year with a new career at John Deere Horicon Works. Their new starting wage is over $23 to $25 per hour, plus an annual John Deere profit sharing bonus and wage increase. And nothing beats the new benefits, including health insurance for your entire family with no premiums. Get a fresh start with the pay and benefits you deserve at John Deere Horicon Works. Apply now at deere.com/Horicon.
Choose Jackson Hewitt for 50% off and your guaranteed biggest refund. 50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:36.
The Bucks making a little extra room at the top of the East. Brandon Snide has sports coming up at 7:45.
Celebrating women today at City Hall.
Festivities for Girls' Day kick off at 9 a.m. City Hall honoring Women's History Month by welcoming over 200 Milwaukee girls. The event highlighted by 2 panels hosted by a number of women in local and state government and nonprofits about how and why they got into public service or elected office. The event will also include lunch and the presentation of the Vel R. Phillips Trailblazer Award, given out annually to recognize a female Milwaukeean who embodies Phillips' legacy of public service. Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, WTMJ News.
The Biden administration says it will get to work on trying to revamp the organ transplant system. As CBS News correspondent Matt Piper reports, the goal is to get those huge wait times down.
While about 43,000 organ transplants were performed last year, doctors say it still is not enough to meet the demand, as more than 100,000 people are on the national transplant list. But there's been one nonprofit, United Network for Organ Sharing, that's run the list for about 40 years. Now the federal government says it will end that monopoly and put more groups to use to help out the complex matching system.
Pet owners dedicate 365 days every year to their pets, but today is a good day to give your fur baby an extra bone. It's National Puppy Day.
Show your fur baby some extra love today because it's National Puppy Day. According to the American Kennel Club, the most popular puppy right now is the French Bulldog. It dethroned the Lab, which had been America's favorite dog for the last 3 decades. Golden Retrievers, German Shepherds, Poodles, and Beagles also made this year's top 10. Jen Clark, CBS News.
You said fur baby.
So did she.
Okay. If you're good with it, I'll let you tell it. News is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk. Certain Saturdays at 10 right here on WTMJ.
Are you waiting for a miracle to feel financially secure in retirement? In a recent study, over 1/3 of millionaires predicted their ability to feel financially secure in retirement is going to, quote, take a miracle. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe a plan, not a miracle, will help increase your retirement confidence. Annex Wealth Management listens. Then our team of experts gets to work using leading-edge technology to build a comprehensive plan that covers investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. We stress test it, run it through countless variables. Then, and only then, we present a framework for a financial plan tailored to your goals in retirement. And unlike our competitors, Annex doesn't have any products to push. No hidden fees or commissions. There's too much of that out there already. We're a fee-only fiduciary, required to act in your best interests at all times. More planning, less miracles. Build confidence in your future with Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
From the WTMJ Traffic Center, boy, today could have been a lot worse, Deb, with that early morning snow and freezing rain.
Very true. As it is right now, right around the Milwaukee area, we just have your usual delays. Actually, pretty typical stuff right now. An accident eastbound 94 right in the stadium interchange off on the right shoulder. Looks like a squad finally pulled up on this car and dump truck. So just watch out for the delays coming out of the Zoo interchange. Northbound on 41, also going to be slow out of the Zoo interchange to Swan Boulevard. We've got some backups along southbound 43 from Brown Deer Road all the way to about Hampton Avenue. And then on the bypass, got some backups eastbound from basically 84th Street all the way to about Loomis. And then as you continue northbound 4394 right around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ 5-day forecast: rain and snow showers this morning, becoming mostly cloudy this afternoon with a high 41. Tonight mostly cloudy down to 30. Tomorrow more sunshine up to 43. But tomorrow night into Saturday, we're looking at widespread at least 2 to 4 inches of snow, with many places picking up closer to 6 inches of snow with a storm. Now we could see some of the snow impacted by the warmer ground this time of year, but definitely looking at some impacts for travel if you're leaving early Saturday. We'll see a high of 39 in the afternoon. Sunday partly sunny, 44, and on Monday mostly cloudy, 42. I'm meteorologist Marissa Walls with the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Temperature right now in Milwaukee, 36 degrees. I don't know what we're going to do, Eric, because you're off starting tomorrow. A little spring break action for you, so you're welcome to take time off. But I'm not going to follow the Gwyneth Paltrow trial.
Well, someone's going to have to.
I do anything and everything that Mr. Sark requires, including occasionally taking out the trash.
Yeah, you know. All right, so here's the problem.
You love the celebrity trial. I just love it.
My absolute favorite. And this one is so dumb.
Yes.
This one's dumber than that other one we followed for so long. So here's the deal. This trial is expected to last 6 days, so the onus will be on you next week to keep southeastern Wisconsin informed. So basically, Gwyneth Paltrow is being sued for $300,000 because
she did something terrible.
She collided with a skier on a ski hill in Utah. And now she's countersuing because she's so disappointed by this. She's countersuing for $1.
And some legal fees.
And some legal fees, which can be pricey.
So she's basically in that is she's not trying to gain financially from it. She's just saying, no, I'm suing you back and you're going to pay for all this.
So a medical expert in the trial says the man she allegedly hit suffered such a blow that he can no longer do the things he enjoys, like wine tastings or spending time with loved ones. So they had some type of neuroradiology specialist on who was discussing what happened to this defendant, or this plaintiff, I should call him. He says that he's different now. He's not thinking the same way. He even yells at his grandkids from time to time. And this is all because he got hit by Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, Paltrow says this guy hit her. What likely happened is they skied into each other, because that's what happens sometimes on ski hills. She has yet to testify. We were anticipating a testimony yesterday that has not happened yet, but we will hear from her kids here pretty soon.
Well, no, don't they get to do? I don't. This isn't like. Is this unlike a criminal trial? But does the plaintiff go first? And
then they'll go. Yeah. So they're doing the counters. You're right. So then she'll be able to go. There was talk that she was going to go early, but I guess they're still obviously doing the plaintiff stuff at the time. There has been some conversation, though, and some frustration by the Paltrow camp because of all the cameras.
The quorum order we spent a lot of time on. It's the court's order. People are subject to criminal sanction, and I want it to stop.
So he's frustrated because there's all these shots of her. She's got like those Dahmer glasses on the other day, and people were making fun of that. Everyone's critiquing what she's wearing and all that, and they feel like that's inappropriate given what they're arguing.
What do they want to do about it? Like
probably
throw all the cameras out, or?
Well, that's great. Great point. Maybe they're trying to make her look like the victim before the jury gets involved in all of this.
I like that play. All right, that's good legal thinking right there.
Could be.
Good strategery.
So that's where we are at. We expect more testimony today on behalf of the plaintiff, who says that he needs $300,000 after he was hit by Gwyneth Paltrow, who weighs probably $110.
And two, he may be in bad shape. Like, that may all be true and still not her fault.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. But skiing recklessly and not looking where she was going.
7:44 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Brandon Snide has sports coming up next.
This report is sponsored by Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart.
In the past 70 years, there's something that has never changed. The kitchen. Oh, it may look a little different as the decades have passed, but it's always been where family gathers for meals, memories, and more. Wisconsin Kitchen Mart has always understood that and remains dedicated to making that important space special.
With an expansive 18,000 square foot showroom filled with full-size displays featuring Play-Doh custom cabinetry, award-winning designers, plus their own in-house installation department, let Wisconsin Kitchen Mart transform your kitchen into a true gathering place.
I'm Robert Iskey, Vice President and Designer from Wisconsin Kitchen Mart. We've been remodeling kitchens and baths since 1951 and can help establish a vision for your remodel. We bring the carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and everyone else needed to make your dream kitchen a reality.
Higher design, higher style, higher Wisconsin Kitchen Mart on the corner of West Wisconsin Avenue and 36th Street in Milwaukee. Online at wisconsinkitchenmart.com.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Brandon Snide.
With only 11 games remaining for Milwaukee and a 4-game road trip looming, the Bucks were looking for some home cooking Wednesday night against the visiting Spurs.
Sends a pass to the corner. Middleton works it to Ingles. They work at touch passes back and forth. Now out top it comes to Portis, and Portis drills the three. Man, that ball was like a ping pong ball. It was just one spot to the next.
Dave Kane on the call right here on WTMJ. BP would sink that and finish the game with 19, and Giannis would lead the game in scoring with 31 and 14 boards in just 23 minutes as the Bucks take care of business, defeating the Spurs by a final of 130-94. After the game, head coach Mike Budenholzer on his team finding their stride and sharing the ball.
When we're playing unselfish and sharing it and making good decisions and good reads and making threes, then that's when we're at our best.
With the win, the Bucks remain 2.5 games in front of the Boston Celtics for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, there is a little bit of a debate and maybe some dilemma for the Bucks and maybe for some fans. Do they rest their guys heading into the postseason, or do they go for that number one spot?
I mean, I think we won it. I think we want the 1 seed. Even like after All-Star break, right? It's been super close between really the top 3 teams in the East. It's not something we obsess about. We're not like checking it every day, every game. Like I think we're definitely aware of it, and I know as a group, I know we want the 1 seed.
Bucks guard Grayson Allen addressing the media on Wednesday as the Bucks now get set for a 4-game road trip beginning in Utah Friday night. Over to the Diamond, where the regular season is just 1 week away from today for the Brewers, and manager Craig Counsell, well, he's feeling pretty good about where the Brew Crew's starting rotation currently sits at this moment.
I couldn't be happier with the physical status of our starters. I think we're in a good spot. Like we've got them like prep wise, health related. Like they've done everything we're supposed to do, so we're in a good spot.
The Brewers are back in action today, taking on the San Diego Padres. First pitch is set for 3:10. And finally, over to the NFL, where the Jets make a trade. Just not the trade we all thought, as they send out their third-year wide receiver Elijah Moore to the Cleveland Browns and receive the 42nd overall pick in the upcoming 2023 draft. What could this trade mean for the Packers, though?
The Jets reached agreement with McCole Hardman, the former Chiefs wide receiver, which enabled them to trade more later in the day, which enabled them to get more draft compensation, which puts them in a better position, of course, to go see if they could figure out a trade for Aaron Rodgers. The two sides have not been close. Both sides have been dug in on their stances, but now the Jets have an extra second-round pick that they used obviously as part of the Elijah Moore trade. Now, you remember last year Elijah Moore wanted out of New York? Well, he gets his wish. It comes after the season. He goes to Cleveland, and it gives the Jets a surplus of picks in the second round next month.
ESPN's Adam Schefter there on NFL Live, as there's lots to still happen throughout the NFL as the draft is just over a month away.
Coming up, the quest to honor an American hero from Wisconsin. 7:49.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. At Creative Planning, we offer full-service, comprehensive wealth management services through our in-house team of wealth managers, accountants, and attorneys to integrate all aspects of your financial life. Get all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house. Visit creativeplanning.com. That's creativeplanning.com.
You sound unprofessional, you sound like you're from the UP, you sound like a couple of dopey farmers. All the comments we've had.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
We don't want to sound like everybody else. We don't want to sound super professional. We want to sound like who we are, and this is who we are.
You know, we want to have good furniture, makes for a happy customer for a long time. At the same time, we want to have good employees. We want to support the local craftsmen so they can support their families and their communities. Like us or hate us, it's what we do.
PennyMustard.com.
Hey, this is Eric Bilstead with WTMJ's Wisconsin's Morning News for J.D. Griffiths. They've been at it for more than 70 years. J.D. Griffiths has been Milwaukee's premier provider and builder of garage doors. My wife and I decided it was time at our house to get the new garage doors, and they were just installed recently. It was fantastic. We went to jdgriffiths.com, got ourselves a free at-home estimate. Ken came over, took a look around, did some measurements, took some specs, and then here we are. This was pretty incredible, actually, because once they told us, hey, the doors are in, my wife and I said, okay, on this date, my wife worked from home that day, and she texted me like halfway through the morning. She's like, holy cow, first of all, they're flying. They're moving quick, and they're quiet. I don't even know they're here. So I go home because I want to see them working, right? Get home there to see the J.D. Griffiths guys, gone. It was already finished. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They were gone already. 2 doors.
Nice. Good work over there.
It was fantastic. And I actually spend time in my garage now just because I enjoy, the insulation of the new doors. And I like kind of looking at them. And
Mom, Dad's in the garage again.
J.D. Griffiths has been fantastic. They look gorgeous. Can't wait for you to get yours. jdgriffiths.com is the website. And a reminder, they don't just do brand new garage doors either. They also can do some affordable servicing of existing garage doors. You got issues, they can take a look at that and fix that as well. And they can even build you a new detached garage door. It is J.D. Griffiths. For more than 70 years they've been at it. Milwaukee's premier provider and builder of garage doors. jdgriffiths.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods. The all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center, is now open in New Berlin.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
From the WTMJ Traffic Center, checking in here with Debbie.
All right, still a bit backed up with an accident through the stadium interchange on 94 eastbound off on the right shoulder. Got a squad, got a dump truck, got another car. So that's all off to the right shoulder, and everybody's slowing down to take a look and try and get past it. You're seeing the delays kick in right in the zoo interchange all the way through the stadium. The westbound side, that's going to be a bit tight from about 27th Street through to about Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound on 41, slowing right out of the zoo all the way up past Swan Boulevard. The southbound side is going to have some heavy pockets from just south of Capitol Drive down to about North Avenue. Southbound 43, pretty much from Brown Deer Road all the way to Hampton, and then a couple pockets right into the Marquette. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ's 5-day forecast sponsored by Dave Dre Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. The rain and snow coming to an end this morning. High of 41 degrees today under cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy tonight. Low drops down to 30. Sunshine on Friday with a high of 43 degrees. And then snow for Saturday. Friday night into Saturday. Some spots in far southeast Wisconsin could see up to 6 inches. Right now we're at 35 degrees in Milwaukee. .754 on Wisconsin's Morning News. March is Women's History Month. Special effort underway to recognize an American hero from the western part of our state. WTMJ's John Mercure has the story of Ellen Ainsworth.
Young Ellen Ainsworth didn't have it easy. Born in 1919, she grew up during the Great Depression in small Glenwood City, Wisconsin, in the rolling hills 40 miles east of the Minnesota border. Despite food sometimes being scarce and opportunities even scarcer, one of Ellen's childhood friends says she had a special light. She was quick with a one-liner, the first to lead an impromptu sing-along, and was always fast to flash a smile. David Sandmeyer is a distant cousin of Ellen.
So she was almost like a bigger-than-life figure, living life to its fullest, and never afraid in the darkest of scenarios.
After high school, Ellen graduated nursing school and became a nurse in Minneapolis. On March 2nd, 1942, Ellen's life changed forever when an Army recruiter visited the hospital where she worked. A few days later, on her 23rd birthday, Ellen told her family it was her destiny to help our men and women on the battlefield overseas, and she enlisted. After training in Arkansas, Texas, and New York, Ellen shipped out for Italy, where she was assigned to the 56th Evacuation Hospital on the front lines in Anzio.
The entire several months that the U.S. Army was there was basically hell on earth.
Ellen and her fellow nurses arrived in late January 1942. And immediately they faced intense artillery and mortar attacks. February 10th, 1944.
The worst shelling yet occurred. And it mainly hit a field hospital very near to the 56th evac hospital. And it killed a number of people at that field hospital.
The injured were brought to Ellen's field hospital, which was nothing more than a canvas tent with big red crosses painted on the roof and sides. Several large bombs landed nearby, and shrapnel began to rain down on the tent where Ellen was working.
Patients who are there who are well enough to be moved, they're removing those patients from the tent hospital into bunkers. But somebody has to stay behind and take care of the really ill patients who can't be moved.
Under heavy bombing, as others fled, Ellen stayed.
She calmly helped move those patients at least to the ground, because shrapnel was coming almost at ground level horizontally. You know, these bombs would explode and they'd send metallic shrapnel sideways, like a few feet above the ground. So Ellen is in there on her shift, moving patients to the ground.
In the chaos, Ellen stayed calm.
42 patients were moved calmly and collectively under her guidance, which prevented panic.
A bomb shelter had been built for the nurses, but Ellen decided to stay in her tent because she wanted to be closer to the men she cared for. February 12th, 1944. After another long shift under constant bombardment, Ellen collapsed from exhaustion in her tent.
Within minutes, a bomb hit, sent shrapnel sideways, and it struck her in her tent. She took about a quarter diameter piece of shrapnel into her chest that apparently went down into her abdomen and caused pretty severe organ damage.
She was rushed to the medical tent where she fought and struggled and eventually faded.
Ellen gets worse and worse. Eventually she died 4 days later on February 16th.
Her death left that community grief-stricken for years.
Sally Burkholder's father went to high school with Ellen in Glenwood City.
Her death left such an impression on that community that even now today, you could go to Glenwood City, a population of about 1,200 people, and died, 80-some years ago, and just say Ellen, and they would know who you were talking about.
Now the people of western Wisconsin are talking about how Ellen should receive the nation's highest military award for valor in action, the Medal of Honor.
Was Ellen Ainsworth a hero? Absolutely. In the case of Ellen, she had to die to prove herself. But, it opened up generations of opportunities for women to serve in the military, for women to go on and pursue advanced degrees.
And it's not just in Glenwood City that they're pushing for Ellen to receive the Medal of Honor.
I would argue this is long overdue.
Dan Buttry is the president and CEO of the War Memorial in Milwaukee.
The key is to protect and save and do something way above and beyond your requirement to save your fellow soldier. And there's no question what Ellen did at that time was to protect and save and stand there and go way beyond what was required of her.
No woman has the Medal of Honor, not one. Ellen would be the first.
The Medal of Honor requires you to have gone beyond the call of duty in a position of extreme danger to aid others. It's basically what she did. Had she decided to use that air raid shelter when she got off her shift, she'd gone to that shelter, she probably would have survived.
World War II veteran Senator Daniel Inouye once said, "The nurses in World War II gave us hope. It's time for Ellen's country to give her the recognition she bravely and selflessly earned."
The girl next door who left home for war and never came back.
John Mercure, WTMJ News.
Both of Wisconsin's U.S. senators and U.S. Representative from Wisconsin, Tom Tiffany, are working to get Ellen Ainsworth awarded that Medal of Honor. The process could still take years. If approved by Congress, the medal would be presented to the Ainsworth family by the President of the United States. Business headlines are up next. Here's the Milwaukee Business Journal's Teddy Nichol.
Milwaukee has one of the most in-demand apartment rental markets in the country. A new study finds that with high occupancy and lease renewal rates, prospective renters have limited options. However, the pace of new apartment construction in Milwaukee has been increasing. A local developer wants to make Oconomowoc a healthcare hub between Milwaukee and Madison. A new outpatient VA clinic is planned for the city's Olympia Fields development, and the developer is also talking to multiple other healthcare providers about locating there. The city of Milwaukee would need to lay off hundreds of workers if it doesn't get more state funding. This finding from a new report adds to the message that local officials have been sending to state legislators as they lobby for the state to pass on more shared revenue to Milwaukee. I'm Teddy Nichol with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit JamesImaging.com.
Hunger Task Force has had copier printers from James Imaging Systems in multiple Wisconsin locations for over 10 years. Associate Director Matt King, why James Imaging Systems?
We trust James Imaging because they're a local business that understands the local community and the needs that we have here.
Has that had a positive impact?
Absolutely. James Imaging staff have made the copying and document imaging within the office really easy and efficient so that we can focus on our mission.
Matt, any advice to other local businesses that would like to make their document imaging processes faster, easier, and more efficient?
Yeah, I would tell them to call James Imaging because they provide great service and they provide customer-oriented solutions.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned company with a 100% commitment to the success of your business. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Hey, it's 620 WTMJ's Brian D. Opening day right around the corner. It's one of those marquee tentpole events that means we are through winter. Spring is here. You know what that means. Upcoming family events, photos, videos, getting out and about, maybe taking some pictures, smiling after wins at the ballpark. Make sure your best smile is on display. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Whether it's a simple cleaning and exam, a more complex dental procedure, a teeth whitening, an implant, Dr. Michaels and the team at Oconomowoc Dental Care will always make you as comfortable as possible while you're in the chair and give both you and your family an amazing smile. At Oconomowoc Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry is no longer a dream, it is the reality. Dr. Michaels' fantastic staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not wait any longer. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. Call his friendly and caring staff today and make an appointment with my guy, Dr. Michaels.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Keeping you informed, keeping you safe, keeping you engaged and entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
8:03, 33 degrees. That snow rolling through the area, starting to dissipate now. Have more snow coming Friday night into Saturday. A high today of 41. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, let's get to Debbie Laziga.
All right, well, we've got southbound on 41 with a broken down vehicle just on the ramp from Silver Spring, so be careful with that. That earlier accident in the stadium interchange on 94 eastbound, that has been cleared. However, we do have delays coming out of the zoo interchange through the stadium, as per usual. The westbound side a little bit tight from 35th Street through the stadium, and then southbound 43 on and off those brakes, pretty much from Brown Deer Road all the way down past Hampton Avenue. Once you get closer to the Marquette, it kind of opens up a bit. Northbound on 4394, by the way, right around the Plainfield curve up to Oklahoma Avenue is where you're going to see those delays. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
We now know the headliners. Summerfest unveiling more than 100 musical acts that will play at this year's festival. The Director of Entertainment, Scott Zeal, joining us on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We have a lot of diversity in terms of music, rock and hip-hop and country and EDM. We want to present something for every possible customer who comes to Summerfest.
We have the list online at WTMJ.com, or just text the word FEST, F-E-S-T, FEST, to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. A hit-and-run suspect accused of injuring a We Energies flagger in Racine County is now in custody this morning. The incident happened Tuesday in the town of Burlington. The sheriff's office says multiple tips led them to Bob Slominski's home on Wednesday. The vehicle they believe he used to hit her accidentally was covered by a tarp in the backyard. Now, the We Energies worker, Carly Rabarchik, is in the hospital suffering 2 broken legs, a broken arm, and other injuries as well. The CEO of TikTok will make a high-profile appearance before a U.S. congressional committee this morning to make the case for why the hugely popular video-sharing app should not be banned. The testimony comes at a crucial time for the company, which has acquired 150 million American users, but is under increasing pressure from U.S. officials concerned about data security and user safety. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
A horrific car accident left Paula with major injuries and surgery after surgery.
I got to the point where I really couldn't walk. I had to resign from work. I was really just laying in bed. It was terrible. I would go back under the knife.
She missed working and traveling, but all that was about to change. QC Kinetics used natural biologics to treat Paula. No foreign substances. They provided regenerative treatments that helped subside the pain and restore her quality of life.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was feeling more movement and doing stuff. And then I started crying. I'm like, I can't believe it.
For Paula, this moment was extremely emotional.
I couldn't do nothing. And now I'm working, and I was on my feet for 7.5 hours, and I feel good. I got my life back because of QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics now for your consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Carjackings, theft, shootings. Crime in Milwaukee is soaring. Criminals are being put back on the streets by liberal judges like Janet Protasewicz, who care more about woke politics than law and order. Too often, liberal judge Janet Protasewicz has refused to put convicted felons behind bars, only for them to re-offend. And Judge Janet says she has no regrets, while our communities suffer consequences. There's only one candidate in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race that puts the law before politics and victims over criminals. That's constitutional conservative Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly is endorsed by law enforcement and can be trusted to restore law and order. We can't afford to let woke liberal judge Janet Protasewicz on our highest court. It's time to take back our streets, restore law and order, and vote conservative Dan Kelly for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Fair Courts America paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidate's agent or committee. FairCourtsAmerica.org.
Giannis scored 31 points, snagged 14 boards, and Chris Middleton added 19 as the Milwaukee Bucks took care of business at home, defeating the San Antonio Spurs by a final of 130-94. The Bucks used a strong 15-2 run to finish out the first half and didn't look back as they secured their 52nd win on the season. With the win, the Bucks remain 2.5 games in front of the Boston Celtics for the top spot in the Eastern Conference, and they get ready for a 4-game road trip beginning in Utah Friday night. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. Over to the Diamond, as the Milwaukee Brewers are just 1 week away from opening their season in Chicago to take on the Cubs, and are back in action today as they get set to face off with the San Diego Padres in spring training. First pitch is set set for 3:10. Over to college hoops, where the NCAA tournament is back in action as 4 games get set to tip off in the Sweet 16. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Well, we got eastbound 94, still kind of a backed up ride right out of the Zoo interchange all the way through the stadium. The westbound side's just a little bit heavy through the stadium. Northbound 41 backing up out of the Zoo interchange all the way up past Swan Boulevard. Up the northbound side of 4394, really kind of cranking on the brakes just as you're coming out of the Plainfield curve. And that takes you slow all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. And then southbound on 43, slowing down from just south of Brown Deer Road pretty much all the way down to about Hampton Avenue, maybe a quick tap of the brakes through the Capitol Drive interchange there. And don't forget, you can be our eyes on the roads. You can report incidents to the WTMJ Hall Mazda Milwaukee.com traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Mazda during Mazda's Season of Inspiration. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast for the day today. Rain and snow showers taking place this morning. That's pretty much dissipating now. Then it's going to be cloudy, a high of 41. For tonight, cloudy, a low of 30. Friday, sunny, a high of 43. Then we have snow coming in Friday night into Saturday, and could be significant snowfall, 2 to 4 inches in some spots getting into Saturday. Could be 6 inches in some areas. The high Saturday, 39. For Sunday, partly sunny, a high of 44. Monday, cloudy, slight chance for some snow and rain on Monday, a high of 42. Right now, in Madison, 32. Green Bay, 41. Waukesha, 31. And in Milwaukee, 34. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's your host, Vince Petrano.
Thank you for that. 11 minutes after 8 on Wisconsin's Morning News this Thursday morning. And we're going to start with a conversation about TikTok and what's ahead in Washington today. Although I admit I haven't made up my mind yet on what I want to see lawmakers do about the very popular social media app. I acknowledge that my life would be better without it. I know my kids' lives would be better without it. That said, I am very cautious about our government stepping in and banning platforms for the use of free expression and exchange of ideas. We ought to be rightly worried about that or concerned. And secondly, there's a commerce component that I do want to discuss today. A lot of people make their livelihoods through social media, or at least enhances their ability to do commerce, and that's a good thing. So they have a little bit more stake in this than kids dancing around, and I do want to get into that this morning. Greg Pancake Hill is producing the program. Hot start for you. Eric Bilstead and Vince Vetrano here with you until 9 o'clock. The CEO of TikTok expected to testify today in front of Congress. That's this morning, right, E?
Yes.
Like coming up soon. Mm-hmm. Lawmakers at the national and state level have already banned the social media app from government devices, now openly suggesting it could be banned across the U.S. for everybody. TikTok's CEO is Zhaoji Chu and is expected to defend the app and work to tamp down fears that the Chinese Communist Party is somehow mining data from U.S. users for potentially nefarious purposes. Nobody likes that, and I think as we learn more and more about the investigations that lawmakers have done behind the scenes, there may be some legitimacy to those concerns. They wouldn't just start banning it. Republicans and Democrats actually agreeing on something wouldn't start banning it right from government devices, I would think, without some cause for concern there.
Well, and that's one of the questions that we've had from the beginning since this talk started. This idea of getting rid of it was, okay, well, what are they getting besides just some of our behavioral moments on what we're using, what websites we're going to? Are they also being able to see what our other devices that we're connected to, what those sites are going to? What all can they get?
They're talking biometric data.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because you can use your face to open your phone or things like that. So,
and what are they going to do with that? Like, what does that mean?
Do with that?
And how is that more dangerous than what Facebook does with that information?
And who is they? Is it really Xi and the Communist Party in China looking into this, or is it just a company that's based in China? Things like that. All that
you
still
think
being
Xi
sorted
is like
out.
checking out the Vetrano?
Right, yeah, right.
This
the
guy.
kids have grown up, yes.
His lawn looks nice.
Let me get you up to speed with a quick Quick update here from ABC's Justin Finch on what we're doing today in Washington.
Lawmakers and TikTok users speaking out ahead of today's testimony.
We can solve the issues without taking away something so precious to us all.
Some argue their small businesses would close without the exposure the app has given them. But one Republican lawmaker fired back with this response.
Those influencers, congressmen, who it's their livelihood, what's your message to them?
Find another job.
Opponents of the app say TikTok poses a serious threat to national security. The Chinese-owned company collects users' data, including biometric information. Critics worry that data could be handed over to China's government.
Okay, so they've laid out the case for the concerns from the U.S. government and officials and why they say we ought to be rightly concerned about this. ABC News reporting ahead of today's testimony. Some TikTokers were actually around Washington this week. Here's how they described it. Packs of TikTok creators and business people roaming the halls of Congress. What are they doing there? These aren't...
Making content on TikTok.
Yes. They're trying to get in front of lawmakers to get them to back off. Here's a woman. Her name is Callie Tudwin. She sells greeting cards in South Carolina.
It is small businesses. It's community. It is friendships. It is connection. In a world that is usually very segmented because everything is digital, this app, this platform has brought people back together.
Yeah, but a little bit more than that. Here's some more from her. Again, this is a woman who sells greeting cards in the Southeast.
We have sold over 30,000 greeting cards in the last 2 years, and 95% of those sales come from TikTok.
Okay, so that's a real economic impact for her.
Sure,
She's saying
sure,
because she does these little TikTok videos and people think, oh, that's cool. Includes a link, I assume. Here's a link to our shop. 90% of her business generated because of the buzz that she gets on social media.
There are also others who make money off of TikTok.
That's our gymnast from...
Livy from LSU.
LSU, right.
So making millions of dollars.
TikTok influencer, because of her abilities to promote products and sign with other companies, is in the millions of dollars annually. And she's a teenager, right? She's 19. She's not even quite 20. Another person from Oklahoma, this is Jason Linton. He's got a really large following.
We, as a community of Americans, we need this platform. We've gathered so much of a community on that platform that we weren't able to reach before on any other platform out there.
So there's another way that TikTokers can make money. I'm not sure he's one of those, but if you have enough followers and meet certain other parameters and you're producing enough content that's drawing people into TikTok, there's a payout there just much like there is for YouTube and some of those others.
But can you make the argument there'll always be another social media app? I mean, no one was talking about TikTok 7 years ago, yet still people were making money. And yeah, obviously they're making more money now using TikTok.
Yeah, you said, what did greeting card lady do 5 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, there were other apps. I mean, Instagram's been around a long time, so is Facebook, so is Twitter.
Instagram has an app that's, I don't want to say it's the same, but it's virtually the same. You can do many of the same things you do on TikTok, and they have, there are a lot of different ways you can post to Instagram. Now, one of them is Reels. So within your Instagram, you have Reels, which allow you the ability to upload short videos, add stickers, use music, edit them up kind of fresh that way.
And we all know that Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, is purely looking out for our interests. Yeah. Sure.
Yes, we know that.
I'm not comparing them to the Chinese government. My point is, though, is that I think we got to remember that we're putting our information out there to a lot of different entities.
Interesting question here on the Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Old National Bank, get old. Why is TikTok even on government computers
It's
or
a
devices?
great question. Although you could argue in some cases, I guess, if it's not just to see people dance, that there are other reasons why you would.
It's the same reason.
You have agencies that are trying to reach out to citizens, right?
Or if you're a lawmaker, it's the same reason it's on my device. I really don't much care to do TikTok, but I know that's an audience that I'm trying to reach.
Yeah, you got to reach that consumer, right?
And I will use it not just to post fun stuff. Actually, some of the things I've gotten the greatest number of views, like in the tens of thousands of views for some of my posts, have been newsy sort of things. I was down in Kenosha for the Rittenhouse trial one of those days. A couple of those days I was down there. And there was something happening out there. I think the sheriff brought out donuts for everybody. Again, kind of this bizarre scene where he's like, hey, trying to be friendly with folks, trying to build bonds between law enforcement and people, whatever. And I'm just rolling on it. I got my phone out there. I roll on it. And there was some interaction between the sheriff and people hanging around. Yeah. I think I even asked him a question. And I kind of just posted it. and it got thousands and thousands and thousands of views on TikTok. It may still be my most popular video I've ever posted on TikTok. No dancing, no goofing off, you and me jumping in the lake, all that stuff. There was a place for that. But the newsy item got the most views. Another newsy sort of item posted a bunch of stuff when I was covering the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits, and this is a global event, and some of the videos that I have from there are in the thousands of views. One's over 100,000, I think. Those guys that dress up, those guys from Minnesota, they dress in Viking horns and stuff, and they sing the songs, right? Yep. Posted that. That got seen all over the place. So one of the reasons to answer the question, why would this be on a government computer? If you're a lawmaker, certainly that's a way to reach that younger constituency that you're trying to get out there for perhaps entirely legitimate purposes. But now the government's stepping back and saying, we're going to have to review this. And in fact, there doesn't seem to be pushback from either side of the aisle, at least on the banning from government devices. What happens next in Washington should play out this morning. 8:19 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We still have some delays along southbound 43 from just before Good Hope Road all the way down past Silver Spring. Eastbound 94, riding the brakes from 92nd Street through the Stadium interchange. The westbound side, not too bad, looking pretty good through the stadium from the Marquette. Northbound on 41, slowing down out of the zoo up past Swan Boulevard. And the stuff around the bypass, east and westbound, as well as heading northbound out of the Mitchell, everything's looking a lot better. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
No matter the hour. We are following a developing and breaking story out of Waukesha.
No matter the day.
Russia continues its invasion of Ukraine as President Biden announces sanctions.
The news doesn't stop.
An abortion ban now in place in Wisconsin.
And neither do we.
Over 1,000 years is how long Darrell Brooks Jr. will spend behind bars.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
National Weather Service calling it a once-in-a-generation event.
News Radio 620.
WTMJ.
For 3 decades, Top Fitness has been the most respected name in home fitness from coast to coast. And now they've opened their newest and largest showroom in Brookfield. They have the biggest and best selection of exercise equipment, accessories, and gym flooring to build your perfect home gym. This month at Top Fitness, buy more, save more during their Dream Home Gym event. Up to $1,000 off Precor treadmills. Up to $800 off Octane and Precor ellipticals. Plus save $700 on the Inspire Ultimate Half Rack. The Top Fitness team of experts can design your dream workout space with a complimentary 3D home gym design so you can visualize what getting fit in the comfort and safety of your own home will look like. They offer professional delivery and assembly, plus for a limited time, enjoy up to 36 months of interest-free financing. Stop by their Brookfield location on Blue Mound Road and online at topfitness.com. Top Fitness, your best choice in home fitness equipment.
If you want to be sure that you're getting financial planning advice you can trust, work with a fiduciary. A fiduciary should be someone who acts as a steward for you. It means they treat your assets as if they were their own, that they protect them as if they were their own, and that they try to grow them as if they were their own. Now you can take this for what it's worth, but I'm doing all I can to run a firm you can trust. That's why we're a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm that doesn't work for anyone but our clients and focuses only on their best interest. By being a steward, being a fiduciary to help our clients reach their financial goals. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
8:23 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Some provocative questions and points on the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620 as we get sent for testimony from the CEO of TikTok this morning before lawmakers in Washington.
One from the 262, I think TikTok is an essential tool for monitoring the Kia boys.
Actually, that was more YouTube. But yes, right. I feel you.
Another from the 262, why can't a U.S. company produce a mimic of TikTok? They're trying. Instagram is close, right? Wouldn't you say that's the closest to?
For sure. And here's another one on that front. Instagram should be using this as an opportunity to step up their platform to mimic some of the things that would be missing from TikTok. Yeah. because it already does have that ability for influencers to make money, links to purchase things, videos, music, clips, etc., dancing. Yeah, it's all the things. The differences are nuanced. My kids will still, and even I have learned from them, to create the video on TikTok and then basically just mirror it over onto Instagram Reels.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how that works.
I think you can learn a lot of stuff from the kids.
Well,
they tell me I use too many stickers. Dad, you don't always have to put a sticker on it.
Oh, is that
stickers are the thing, like the things that'll animate up. So if I'm doing a Brewers,
it's too
thing,
distracting.
Right? I type in Brewers and there's like a baseball or something like that. I'm like, Dad, you don't have to do that.
But you need at least one, right? Just to help.
Apparently not, Eric.
All right.
So we're doing it wrong.
I got to learn from them. A couple other interesting texts on here. One saying that why the Chinese government is so dangerous is because it can use the app to create active warfare against the U.S. This texter also says they can use the platform to push certain agendas and to push certain things that undermine and deteriorate the U.S. society. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but that's already happening in other apps too.
Also true.
The propaganda is being pushed all across all social media from all kinds of different people, some of them here in the U.S.
Right. App does not have to be owned or based in China for the Chinese to try to infiltrate social media. Certainly we've seen hard evidence of that from the Russians.
And I guess that's why I'm skeptical of all of this demand to ban TikTok. And I'm not suggesting by any means that our information is not in danger if it's being siphoned and looked at from the Chinese government or from whatever. I'm not suggesting at all. I'm not ignorant to that. But I wonder why all of a sudden this is a thing.
Was all of a sudden.
Yes.
TikTok's been around for years.
It makes you wonder who's behind this push. Is Zuckerberg having meetings on Capitol Hill? Is Facebook saying, hey, we got to tamp down on this TikTok stuff? I mean, there are some powerful players out there that get a lot of FaceTime with lawmakers. It just makes you wonder sometimes who's really behind this push to get rid of TikTok.
Those meetings wouldn't be on Capitol Hill.
Oh, you're right.
They'd be somewhere, but they would be somewhere.
On some island somewhere.
Black site somewhere that Zuckerberg owns an island.
Right.
But hey, listen, not for nothing. That's a good question. It did seem really sudden. It started... this summer maybe in earnest, where you had some Republicans and it was a right it was a right of the aisle issue first.
It initially started with Trump before the election. I remember him kind of throwing that out there, and I remember making the comment, oh, be careful before an election to say something about TikTok. You might lose some voters that you want to grab.
Right.
But I remember even hearing it back then. But yes, then it really took
Gained
a swing
steam on the right
late last year.
And it was primarily coming from the right, and then quickly you had a turn, within a matter of weeks. Remember Governor Evers' first response was he was being pushed by lawmakers in our state saying, hey,
and he said,
you ought to do this, you ought to be banning this. He's like, I don't know, we'll look at it.
Right. Government maybe.
Yeah, and then quickly...
He already said he did everything.
Fix the damn roads.
Right, he'd already done that, so... No, and then very quickly in the state it went to, actually we're gonna go ahead and do this. You saw the same thing mirrored nationally, where it started on the right, but then you quickly had Democrats on board as well, and it seems that that concern is shared across the aisle now at this point. I think it bears the question of what happened so fast, what changed, and where is that push coming from?
The ability to share information so quickly.
And still, not for nothing, regardless of where it's based, I do think we ought to have great caution anytime we talk about the government coming in and taking away the opportunity for the people to use a platform for free expression. Whether it's just dancing, whether you're selling greeting cards,
but then go back to the
whether
other
you got
thing.
COVID conspiracy theories, whatever.
But you have free expression, but then you're also talking about health. There's reasons why there are regulations on cigarettes that you can only be a certain age because of health. You got to be 18 to buy cigarettes. Well, there's clearly, I think everyone can agree there is health ramifications, mental health ramifications from these sites. So does a similar guideline have to be put in place?
And this one on the Old National Bank talking text line. Sean Went has never heard of TikTok. 8:27 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Oh, I'm already running late. Let's go.
There is a backup on I-94 eastbound.
Wait, is that Debbie Lazaga?
Expect delays.
Well, how bad is it?
Alternate routes will help you in your journey.
I feel better.
Get where you need to go calmly with traffic reporter Debbie Lazaga, only on News Radio WTMJ.
Follow me on social.
Old National Bank is asking everyone to get old. But first, people have questions. Will it take me years to get old?
No, getting old can literally happen in minutes.
Is getting old like a complicated process?
Not at all. Just stop into one of our banking centers or visit our website. We even have an app for that.
Will I look any different after I get old?
You may look happier and more relaxed with a banking partner like us.
Definitely want to get old.
Introducing Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
I'm concerned.
What's wrong?
I went to Hasselus Mattress yesterday, and there was nobody there.
Yeah?
I mean, other customers were buying Sealy Posturepedic and Beauty Rest mattresses, but there were no employees.
And that was concerning?
No, that was amazing.
Sure is. You don't have commissioned crazed salespeople breathing down your neck. Try and buy with no pushy sales guy.
And the prices were way too low.
Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393.
And the free next day delivery? I mean, come on.
And you also received a $200 MasterCard Rewards gift card.
How did you know that? You weren't there.
Because now through Monday, everybody gets a $200 MasterCard Rewards gift card with the purchase of a new Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Incredible.
So why are you concerned?
Because now I'm spoiled. I never want to shop at a store with employees ever again.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
You can rely on Blaine's Farm and Fleet for the best prices on just about everything, like 50-pound bags of Waukesha Sure Tread Barn Line, just $3. Rewards members pay $2.25. Balin 6-rail utility gates, now 15% off. And 50-gallon square liquid transfer tanks from Apex, made of rugged reinforced 14-gauge steel construction, on sale $299.99. Rewards members pay $279.99. For the best prices on the products you need, shop Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
8:30 on Wisconsin's Morning News. See any bands you liked it coming to Summerfest? I know you got a story coming up here shortly. The 100-plus list of bands and acts coming to the big gig dropped this morning at 6 o'clock.
Some of the old favorites are there.
Old favorites on there.
The Teslas, the Styx, the Lyle Lovetts, the Elvis Costellos, and some new ones too, and some ones that have been. Vance Joy, I think, has been to Summerfest before. He's coming back. Cypress Hill.
Big mix, right. There's some hip-hop, there's some oldies, there's some newies, people you haven't heard of before, up-and-comers. So that list is available if you text the word FEST to the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. No Black Crowes.
I noticed that.
I know.
Actually, that's the first place I looked.
Well, because they came last year and I couldn't go. They're like 4 bands probably I would go see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would probably be, like 6-8 times for me. It's fine. I like what I like.
Hey, I get it. Hey, you do you.
Hey, man, you find a place you like, you keep going there.
Shake your moneymaker.
8:31 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Eric with the headlines.
A hit-and-run suspect accused of injuring a We Energies flagger in Racine County earlier this week is now in custody. The hit-and-run happened Tuesday in Burlington. The sheriff's office says multiple tips led them to Bob Sleminski's home on Wednesday. He is now in custody facing charges. He did confess to hitting the We Energies worker, Carly Rabarczyk. He claimed he was on his way to an AA meeting at the time of that accident and panicked. The battle between the U.S. and China over TikTok will come into full view when the social media platform CEO testifies before congressional lawmakers today. And it's Girls' Day at City Hall in honor of women. Girls from around Milwaukee will be spending the day at Milwaukee City Hall. Time now for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, the Dow is going to start up 197, the NASDAQ starting up 150, and the S&P starting up 32. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, hi, Debbie Losgo.
Hello, Eric. Eastbound on 94, we got the backups. Basically from, I would say 84th Street through the Stadium Interchange. Pretty typical stuff, though. Right now, it's about 14 minutes to get from the zoo into downtown. Northbound 41, hitting the brakes a bit from Blue Mound up past Swan Boulevard, and southbound 43, going to see some delays from about Good Hope Road down past Silver Spring. Northbound side's going to be a little bit heavy in that pocket right there, just about at Silver Spring up to about Bender Road. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ. Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cloudy today, high of 41. The snow is finished. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 30. For Friday, sunny, a high of 43. Friday night and into Saturday, that's when we're going to see some considerable snowfall. Right now, it looks like 2 to 4 inches. Getting into Saturday, maybe even some spots with 6 inches. Sunday, partly sunny, a high of 44. Monday, cloudy, slight chance for some precipitation, a high of 42. Right now in Milwaukee, 34. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:34.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
If you're like me, you always like to add a little something new to the wardrobe. But when money's tight, it makes it harder. And that's why you shop at St. Vincent de Paul for a terrific selection of women's clothing at thrift store prices. Brand names too, with a selection that's always up to date and looking great. You're going to find something cute at the right price, and you're going to love it. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
On April 4th, your vote is critical to getting Wisconsin back on track. Hi, I'm Dan Knodel, and I'm asking for your vote to be your next state senator. I started my first small business in Menominee Falls when I was 17 years old, and that experience taught me about hard work and the value of a dollar. Simply put, that's the mindset I'm bringing to Madison to fight for you. Join me to keep our community safe, invest in our local roads and bridges, and get Wisconsin back on track. Vote for me, Dan Knodel, in the special election for state senate on April 4th. Visit danknodel.org to learn more. Paid for by Knodel for Senate.
8:36 on Wisconsin's Morning News this Thursday morning. Citizen hero stories in this segment of Wisconsin's Morning News. Now, is this guy a hero, Eric, or did he just step up and go a little above and beyond?
Which one are we talking about?
I want to start with Southwest Airlines guy.
I think above and beyond, but still heroic because I'm glad he was on the plane.
So Southwest Airlines flight from Las Vegas bound for Columbus, right? The pilot becomes, the captain becomes so severely ill that he or she, and I didn't see if it was man or woman.
Do we know if he had the fish?
Right. The captain becomes so incapacitated due to illness that he or she can no longer operate the aircraft. It's literally the plot of Airplane.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
They go back to the plane, and I don't know if Elaine went back there and said, also, does anyone know how to fly a plane? But they found somebody on board who also is a pilot. Is he an airline pilot? I think that sounded
yes,
right.
From a different airline.
Different airline,
yes.
And so may or may not fly the Boeing 737,
right,
which is what Southwest operates, but they get this guy in the cockpit and they end up landing safely and everybody's okay. No word on the pilot or whether or not the pilot ate the fish.
So he was helping. I think he handled the radios for him. So he wasn't necessarily grabbing the wheel, but he was
okay.
Up
So
there.
they needed so he comes in and he's the number 2.
Yeah, but still help. I mean, there's a reason why you have more than one person in there, right?
Other person in the cockpit takes care of things and whatever.
So I wouldn't say above and beyond,
hero, but he's above and beyond.
Okay, yeah, but not necessarily heroic. A definite help though.
Okay,
right?
Good.
But then,
still right. Yeah, he gets some wings.
Then there's Manny Resto.
Now what did Manny do?
Manny Resto is a former professional wrestler turned doorman. He's a security guard out of Tampa, and this guy thwarted a mass shooting. Manny Resto saved lives. He intercepted a deranged gunman wearing a devil mask who was trying to get into a strip club, a packed Tampa strip club, early Sunday morning, so over the weekend. This guy, he's intercepted Michael Rudman as he tried to force his way into the Mons Venus with a pistol early Sunday. So,
the Mons Venus. That's
you know
one of
that
my
place?
favorites down there.
I saw him raise his hand, and he had a gun, Resto said during a press conference. I saw him pointed towards the door. I decided that it was not going to enter the club. I was not going to let that happen and let him hurt anybody. So he tackled the dude, and they fought, and the guy pointed the gun at him, and they were going back and forth. He kept him from going in there where he was clearly looking to kill somebody.
Manny stepped in, took him out, used fists.
I often think about this. We talk about it a lot. Are you able to do the thing you need to do? Are you able? There's a fine line between a person and a great person. Can you become that great person? That great leader by stopping and thwarting this major event that could be catastrophic.
Yeah, we're not all built like Manny, I assume. I guess
he's a little bit bigger than us.
Guy's probably pretty tough and gave himself a chance.
And the dude he was fighting was really big.
But what do you do? That changes the game a little bit. Do you think you could be effective in jumping in, or are you better calling 911 or doing something else, throwing something in his way, whatever it has to be? But would you step up and at least tangle?
Can you be that person?
Or do you just run and get the hell out of there? And you can't honestly tell me you know the answer to that question until you're standing there, right?
I'm so worried.
I'd like to think.
Yeah, right. Me too. I want to believe.
That's right. I'd take them on. Lives are at stake, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Out.
I want to believe it, but oh my God.
Like to think you'd do that, but who knows?
So hat tip to Manny Resto. Thanks for saving lives over the weekend.
What about school bus kid? Now you said this is
I'm blown
old.
away by this. So,
but this is like making the rounds again.
School bus kids. So occasionally viral videos will recirculate for whatever reason.
Yeah, it gets caught in some thread somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. It's been around for a while, but for whatever reason it didn't take off at the time.
Back into the blood flow.
Yeah, right. That's exactly it. It's re-injected.
So viral video now that's popping up again is 13-year-old kid on a school bus. And this is from 2013, so it's 10 years old. 13-year-old kid on a school bus. He's sitting in the second row. Driver's driving. Driver has a heart attack, head goes back, hands off the wheel, and you can it's all on video, and you can tell that the bus is starting to taper, right? It's starting to lean one direction as far as getting into other lanes and whatnot. And 13-year-old looks up quickly, realizes something's wrong, and what does he do? He runs and grabs the wheel and helps put the bus to a stop. Meanwhile, and then he starts doing chest compressions on bus driver. And then he lets kids off the bus as he's doing all of this.
Stop. Where does the truth end?
He's not Batman, nor is he Kramer.
Right.
No, but he was doing the chest compressions.
Really?
And he grabbed the wheel because obviously the bus was out of control.
13.
Yes, 13-year-old kid.
Let me tell you something. I'm teaching my 15, soon to be 16-year-old twins to drive right now. They got their learner's permits.
Here we go.
My daughter's going to be okay. The boy, he may never learn to drive. Let me just tell you that.
No, it's early. It's early yet. Got to give it a couple of goes.
I shouldn't crack on him, but I'm just saying there's a question in my mind as to whether or not he will ever learn to drive. He's right. Here's a 13-year-old hops in the wheel of a school bus and takes control.
Very few 15-year-olds get behind that wheel and can rock it the first time out.
I'm not asking for a rocket. Just show some aptitude, some possibility for growth here. The other one, okay, didn't look here, didn't check there.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, we
got
things to learn. Yeah. We got whatever, but sort of seeing gradual improvement. The boy, we were out for a half hour the other day. We're on the street. I took him back to the parking lot. I'm like, we're just working on turning at all.
You'll get there, I promise.
They had their first behind the wheel yesterday, though, and he got a good report. They sent out a little report.
There you go.
Maybe it's me.
Just kick him out of the nest.
The kids would all three of my kids actually have said they'd rather drive with me than mom.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You know what? Susan Kim nailed this about me. She said, you oversweat the small stuff. The big stuff, you're calm.
Does
that sound about right?
Yes, 100%.
Susan's analogy always was we had this live shot that was it was not happening. We were anchoring the whole show from Lambeau Field, our noon show on the Packers. It was the league opener.
Okay.
It was the year after we won the Super Bowl.
So Thursday
it's
night.
The 2011 Thursday night opener. And Susan and I had been there all morning. The Today Show was at Lambeau Field because it was going to be on NBC. And we were going to anchor our whole noon show from there as well. And it's minutes away. And like, we've got nothing. Like the camera feed is not. There was actually no camera actually on the platform where we were. And she's freaking out and she's calling back and she's like trying to whatever. And I'm like, it'll be cool or it won't be. Like, there's nothing I can do here. So I was totally calm.
So while everyone else is scrambling, you're like, oh, well, not my problem.
No, not like.
I'll just read the
there
note,
was
buddy.
nothing I could do to help.
We are here at Lambeau. Vince, there's no camera. No, I read at 12:01.
She
We
just
are here
meant
at Lambeau Field.
I didn't lose my mind over it. Whereas she will say, if I have a broken pencil on the desk, what's with this place? Pencils are broken. I can't believe the pencil is broken. Why are all these pencils broken?
Yeah, that sounds exactly like you. Oh, fantastic.
So that's, I guess, the broken pencil theory, but why the kids probably prefer to ride with me, because I'm chill.
Very
like,
calm. Don't mind.
Pretty much.
Don't mind the giant bus coming at you. Put it in reverse.
Yeah, let's get it back on. We're a little bit close here. Guy, yesterday we're driving through Little Greendale, okay? On the Greendale Res, we're not on like 27th Street. We're not on Grange. We're like in the little neighborhoods,
Sure.
right? Guy on a motorcycle passes us over the double yellow. I know the boy's going 20 and a 25, but like we're right by the school. You can clearly see.
Seems
like,
unnecessary.
Ringing in. Like,
Nice
okay,
job,
we
buddy.
heard you.
Well
Good.
done.
We'll see you over
Nice
there.
job.
8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Well, we're winding down nicely. Southbound 43 is getting a little bit better from Good Hope Road down to Capitol Drive. Just some pockets of heavy traffic. Eastbound 94, watch for the delays basically from 76th Street through the stadium. The westbound side is all clear. We've got northbound on 41 a little heavy from Watertown Plank Road up past Swan Boulevard. And overall, looking pretty good. Just watch out for any possible slick conditions. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on News Radio WTMJ.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Rate Watcher Brian Wickert here to report 30-year fixed rates are back down. If you're a 3 or more person household with annual income less than $127,400 and you're buying your first or next home in the 4-county Milwaukee metro area, Low Overhead AccuNet has some super special 30-year fixed rate money at 6.0% with 0 points. With as little as 3% down and top-notch credit, the APR is just 6.2. The 30-year fixed APR with no income limits is back down to 6.51% with no points and 25% down on a $230,000 loan amount. More than anything, my expert team of senior loan consultants is ready to work with you and your real estate agent to craft your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and offer to purchase so that you have the best shot at winning your next offer. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get a lower rate and a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
To be able to breathe properly when you sleep is a profound change. To be able to sleep properly is probably the most important thing you can do for your health, period. End of sentence. In order to sleep properly, you have to be able to breathe properly. If you can't breathe properly, you aren't going to sleep properly. It sounds sort of like simple and like I'm talking to a first grader, but I'm simply saying that most people don't recognize how profoundly impacted their sleep is by their breathing issues until we fix it. And so if we fix somebody's nose, we fix their sinuses, we make sure that their throat is staying open when they're sleeping at night, their body is for the first time ever breathing properly and therefore sleeping properly. And you kind of forget like, oh, this was such a big deal for me before I got it fixed.
Breathe well with simple solutions at vetnose.com.
If you're looking for the finest of furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
It's sad, isn't it? When a candidate falls behind and starts airing misleading, negative attacks that are completely false. This year, that candidate is Dan Kelly. Dan and his friends are trying to scare you about Janet Protasewicz. They don't want you to know that Janet Protasewicz spent 25 years prosecuting dangerous criminals. Dan just wants to feed you a dirty pack of lies because he can't stand on his own record. Did you know Dan Kelly got rich defending child sex predators? It's true. And Kelly is an extremist who compared Social Security to welfare, saying seniors on Social Security and Medicare have, quote, chosen to retire without sufficient assets. So Dan Kelly, if you're listening, listen closely. We're going to fight your lies with something you might find remarkable. It's called the truth.
Paid for by Janet for Justice.
A couple of things I want to sneak in here quickly for you. One is a utility item if you are going to be flying out of Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, as a lot of folks are going to be in the next couple of weeks. In fact, the airport declaring this weekend the peak for spring break travel.
The busiest day is going to be this Saturday, when we have more than 24 flights heading to places like Florida, Arizona, Mexico, the Caribbean. Southwest has a lot of flights to those places, along with Spirit, Sun Country, Apple, and Funjet. So it's going to be very busy, and Saturday will be the busiest day with more than 12,000 passengers departing from MKE.
Wow, in a single day. That's Harold Mester with MKE. So a lot of folks have spring break coming up. You're gone starting tomorrow, righty? You guys
Yes,
are
sir.
off to somewhere?
Heading south.
Okay. Are you a drive your car to the airport and park?
It depends. We've done it both ways. We have family and friends that'll help us too sometimes. I also Uber. I'm a big fan of just at the door. All right, let's go. All right, see you later. Thanks.
A lot of folks still drive their cars out, especially if you're bringing the whole family and you got all this luggage and all this other stuff.
Sure.
And an important
Service
warning.
lots are nice.
Yeah, important warning for from the airport is it's possible that parking ramp they have out there, and perhaps even the surface lots, could be full. I think we ran into this last year or the year before, something like that. But there was a time where MKE is posting like, we have no spots.
Oh, man.
Like maybe one guy's out, one guy's in, right? But in large part, we have no spots. So if you've got travel coming up and you're intent to bring your car, your minivan, whatever it is, and park there on one of the outlots at the airport or in the ramp, they're suggesting you get the parking app. What is that? The
just the standard one, the Milwaukee one?
Yeah, the Milwaukee parking app. I had that right here.
It's Park MKE
Park
or something
MKE,
like that.
that's
yeah.
what it is. Park MKE app, and you can reserve a spot in the parking lot.
Not bad.
Or at one of the lots.
So either a car is parked there or it's driving down toward the Gulf Shores or toward Florida, because that's what everyone from Wisconsin seems to do during spring break.
Yes.
The number of people I see from Wisconsin all the way down in years past.
That's the other thing, right? If you're on vacation and you think you're not going to know anybody, you're going to know somebody.
It's amazing.
You'll find somebody from
it is
Wisconsin
like
will
literally
come up to
from
you.
your school district. You're like, what?
Right.
What are you doing down here?
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Okay, so there's that. Also, just want to put this on your radar for today. We are expecting Milwaukee Public Museum to make another announcement about one of its permanent galleries that are going to be part of the new $240 million museum, which opens in 2026. So the museum is slow rolling out the now permanent galleries, as they call them, things that will always be there in the museum that will become your new old favorites over the years, they hope. 5 of those galleries will be there. We got the first one is called Time Travel, and that's like dinosaurs and stuff. And they had this big thing the other day where they brought in the exhibit designers and other folks from the museum to talk about what they were trying to do in that space. You actually got some looks at what some of the exhibits are going to look like within there. So we have another one of those today. What they're rolling out is the reveal for the Wisconsin Journey. And MPM has told us Wisconsin Journey Gallery is an entire exhibit floor focused on the geological wonders and strong and varied cultures of Wisconsin, from the driftless region to the Northwoods, the Apostle Islands, the Great Lakes, and Wisconsin's vast prairie lands. So that's going on, 9 o'clock start, right?
Yeah, real quick here.
So pretty soon we'll learn a lot more about that next gallery, the one that everybody's got their minds on, Milwaukee Revealed. So this would be, for the folks who are concerned about the streets of old Milwaukee, the immersive landscape, cityscape that we expect to be part of the Milwaukee Revealed exhibit. That's coming up on April 14th. So we'll learn a lot more about that. Today is Wisconsin Journey. That's happening at 9 o'clock this morning. 8:53 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. All of this stuff is political window dressing, trying to
desperately hang on to whatever power they think they still have. That's not going to fix our problem. Matter of fact, it'll make them worse. You cut whatever you're eating. I had one bowl. If you cut that to a half a bowl, I would guess over time you're going to lose weight. It doesn't have to be McDonald's. I'm thinking, is this what we're going to do now? We're going to go after Chris Rock because he's too hard on Jada Pinkett Smith? The great response to this is, shut the hell up.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on WTMJ. It's time to upgrade that old patio furniture with By the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture. By the Yard furniture features no painting, no rotting, no splinters, no storage, ever. With over 400 items in 9 UV-stabilized colors, By the Yard is proudly made in the Midwest and backed by a 35-year warranty. Explore By the Yard's outdoor furniture collection at their showroom location in Mayfair Mall, Wauwatosa, or visit bytheyard.net. That's bytheyard.net.
Old National Bank is asking businesses to get old. But first, they have questions.
Who runs my business if I get old?
You do. You can get old and remain young.
Is that possible?
With a commercial bank as good as Old National, yes.
What will it feel like to get old?
Well, business owners describe a feeling of euphoria, having local decision-making and committed relationship bankers.
Okay, one old guy coming up.
Introducing Old National Bank, where business relationships and results matter. Old National Bank. Get old. Member FDIC.
Double pane prices for triple pane protection. Right now. Installed only by craftsmen that meet the Semper Fi standard. From your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
8:56 on Wisconsin's Morning News. You ever a piece of cake or like it claims to be a brownie where it's like real light and airy? Just kind of foamy almost, not much in it.
Like a sponge?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. It's just too light, you know? You're like, there's not enough in here. Today's show, the 8 o'clock hour, was the opposite of that. We were like a pound cake consistency. Just
thick.
full,
Yes.
dense, Steve.
Mm-hmm. What was it filled with? What was the meats?
Important information.
Okay.
Various things.
Have to go to the podcast page.
Actually,
I'll have to go look that up.
I do want to pass this along. Our guy from ABC News, Aaron Katursky, you've heard him on our show and in the afternoon as well, posting this to Twitter just moments ago. The grand jury hearing evidence of former President Trump's role in accounting for hush money he paid to porn actress Stormy Daniels will not meet about the case for the remainder of the week. Sources familiar with the matter told ABC News, confirming. So what that seems to suggest is if there is an indictment forthcoming for the former president, it won't be, not only was it not Tuesday, it won't be this week.
Is there a possibility that maybe that there's a hold on this while some of the other issues swirling around the president may take precedence of the bigger cases? Documents, Mar-a-Lago,
it's
election
interesting.
interference?
It's not supposed to, right? The wheels of justice turn independent in New York of what's happening in Florida, of what's happening in Georgia.
Why do you think they would wait?
Well, I mean, Department of Justice has a lot of power, right?
Sure.
Overseeing.
So DOJ would say, hey, Manhattan County DA.
Pump the brakes. We have some other
Can
things.
you give us a minute?
Yeah. I mean, I have the growing sense that something big is going to happen on this front, and it may not necessarily be in Manhattan. That's just my take.
Well, and there's a lot going on there as far as what's going on with those documents. A lot of news that's been popping the last couple of days about what now some of his lawyers are going to have to testify on, and what the DOJ believes the lawyers of the former presidents were misled into believing.
Dude, when your own lawyers turn on you, you're in trouble.
Yeah. What's left?
Your lawyer's supposed to
just
be
the man
guy
himself. And I
defending you.
I like to remind my conservative friends that just because you don't want to talk about it doesn't mean the story goes away. That's a popular theme amongst some of my Republican and conservative friends lately, and that's not how real life works.
But it could go away.
It might.
I mean, you could just move on to other candidates someday.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're not doing it because the trend is going the opposite. It looks more and more like Biden-Trump 2.0. And what that does for America, who knows?
Steve Scafidi is next on WTMJ.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's